afternoon. We will start our regular city council meeting. Today is July 16th, 2025. The time is now 6:38. Madam Clerk?
Mayor Douglas Lawson.
Here.
Chairperson Shirley Lanier.
Here.
Chair Pro Tem Kashama Miller Anderson.
Present.
Councilperson Bruce Guyton.
Here.
Councilperson Glenn Spiritus.
Here.
Councilperson Priscilla Davis Panier.
Here.
City Manager Jonathan Evans. Acting City Clerk Deborah Hall is present. City Attorney Don Nguyen.
Here.
Madam Chair, you have a quorum. You may proceed.
We will have a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by our mayor.
Everyone, please stand. We're going to have a moment of silence for all the families that couldn't be here, and a special moment of silence for the great Reverend Griffin Davis, who we've lost, passed away senior. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any additions, deletions, or substitutions for this agenda this evening?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
I have one addition. I'd like to add the city manager's performance.
Okay, where do you want to add that? In the regular agenda?
Yes.
Okay.
It can be the last of the regular agenda items.
All right, so we'll add that, Madam Clerk, as 11H.
11H.
Yes.
Mr. Guyton, could you repeat the subject again, please?
The city manager's performance.
Okay.
Are there any disclosures from either the staff or the board in regards to any of these items that are listed on this agenda? Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
So move.
Madam Clerk?
Councilperson Davis Panier.
Yes.
Councilperson Guyton.
Yes.
Chair Pro Tem Miller Anderson.
Yes.
Councilperson Spiritus.
Yes.
Chairperson Lanier.
Yes.
Unanimous vote.
Our next item is the consent agenda, which is routine city council business. The consent agenda is approved by a single majority vote. Items may be removed for an open discussion at the request of the mayor or any city council member. Do any member wish to pull an item from the consent agenda?
Madam Chair,
Yes, go ahead, sir.
I would like to take 2A and have that for discussion. Move for discussion.
Okay, we'll pull 2A. Any other item? A motion to approve the consent agenda without 2A.
So move. Second.
Madam Clerk?
Councilperson Davis Panier.
Yes.
Councilperson Guyton.
Yes.
Chair Pro Tem Miller Anderson.
Yes.
Councilperson Spiritus.
Yes.
Chairperson Lanier.
Yes.
Unanimous vote.
Madam Clerk, item 2A.
Item 2A, under board appointments, appointment of board member to the Riviera Beach Housing Authority. Madam Chair, we don't have any public comment cards on consent. The acceptance of the cards is closed.
Mayor?
Thank you, Madam Chair. It was pulled by Dr. Spiritus.
Dr. Spiritus, you have any questions about item 2A that you pulled?
Yes. Madam Chair, I respect the mayor and his appointments. As a matter of fact, I respect the appointment that he's making here. I just think that we should ensure that Singer Island District 4 has a representation on the Housing Authority. I think it's important for everyone in the city to have a seat at the table. We have enough members on the Housing Authority to include every district on the Housing Authority board.
Mayor?
Yes, Madam Chair.
You have any issue with that?
I have no issue with that.
All right, how many seats have been filled so far?
This will make 7.
And that means there's 2 open?
No, this will make 7.
Oh, I see. So there's only, it's not 9 and 7.
No, yeah, yes, Madam Chair, it's just 7.
Could you make sure you send Dr. Spiritus a list of the terms, meaning each person who's on your board to the terms that they're serving?
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Madam Clerk, if you can forward over all the terms to the entire board. Thank you.
Dr. Spiritus, you can look at those terms and maybe get someone prepared for open seat when it comes available.
Okay, Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
I do have someone that I could recommend right now, and that would be Bill Hester, if the mayor so desires.
He may desire, but I don't think he can add another
If he wants
person.
if he wants to amend the consent agenda to change the name.
Mayor, he's asking if he wants to change the name.
No, we have the appointments already. I did reach out to Mr. Hester based on some travel concerns and his ability to actually be local. I think we could possibly see when the next board appointment does come available. I do want to have representation for the entire city and have representatives, but the board has been selected by appointees that I did make. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, sir. Anything else, Dr. Spiritus?
Madam Chair, I spoke to Mr. Hester, and he is able and willing to serve on the board, but I do respect the mayor's position and his authority to make the appointment.
Thank you, sir. That is the end of our consent agenda. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead, sir.
You have to vote on the item.
Oh, okay, go ahead. Make a motion.
So move.
All right, there's a motion on the floor to approve item 2A, which is the appointment of an individual for the city's housing authority. Is there a second? Second. Madam Clerk?
Councilperson Davis Panier,
Yes.
Councilperson Guyton,
Yes.
Chair Pro Tem Miller Anderson,
Yes.
Councilperson Spiritus,
Yes.
Chairperson Lanier.
Yes.
The item passes with Councilperson Spiritus passing on the vote.
Madam Chair,
Let's go ahead.
just in that motion, we do have the person's name, what is it, Tara Bennett? Just so we're clear on what the motion was.
The motion was to approve the,
Board appointment
by the
of,
mayor, Tara Bennett, yes. We can include that in the motion.
Madam Chair,
Yes, go ahead.
Councilperson Spiritus, you can't pass on the vote unless you have a voting conflict. You have to vote one way or the other. You can't,
Say yes.
I voted yes.
Oh, I apologize.
the
Yes.
clerk said he passed.
I heard pass. I'm sorry.
No,
Unanimous
I
vote.
voted yes.
Thank you.
Very good. Next item, awards and presentations. Madam Clerk?
We are on item 6, awards and presentations. Item 6A, legislative update from Florida State Representative Javante Edmonds, District 88.
Good evening.
Good evening. We have the PowerPoint?
I didn't receive a PowerPoint.
You had a PowerPoint?
Yeah, we had a PowerPoint. All right, we'll do without it, okay?
Okay.
So we can be even a little bit more brief.
Yes, it's a part of our backup as well.
It's part of the back.
Any
Okay.
everyone should have a copy of it.
Okay, well, residents, you are listening to the presentation. There's a copy of our PowerPoint in your agenda. Council, city manager, city attorney, all the staff and team of Riviera Beach, thank you all for having me here. My name is Javante Edmonds. I proudly serve you as your state representative in the Florida House. I will do my best to illustrate what I'm specifically talking about because we don't have a PowerPoint. So legislative session started in March and ended in June this year. Typically, session in Tallahassee is supposed to be 60 days long, where we discuss the bills and the budget of the state of Florida. This particular year, we spent 45 additional days in Tallahassee, so we spent 105. During that 105 days, we saw over 2,000 pieces of legislation, ranging from one-page long bills to 600-page long bills. And so our job as a state rep, again, is to fight for good bills, stop the bad bills, and make sure that we can bring money home. We were proud to actually bring a good appropriation home to help build the law enforcement training facility. In the past, myself and Senator Bobby Powell has brought funding home for the fire station, a Riviera Beach water lift station. We also had $1 million slated for a water plant. Unfortunately, that project was vetoed by the governor. I will tell you, I have over 25 projects submitted to me each and every year. That water plant, anything we can do to help our water in Riviera Beach is my top priority, and I look forward to continuously working with your team, your staff, your lobby corps, Sean Pittman, he's phenomenal, our state senator, Mac Bernard, to make sure that we can get funding to help with the water issue. So let's talk about the budget.
Before you go any further, I'm gonna stop you. We're gonna, if you can wait, and we'll have the next presentation so we can get your PowerPoint up.
Yes, Madam Chair.
We're gonna get your PowerPoint up. We'll go to the next presentation.
The next presentation, Madam Chair, is item 6B, proclamation to retired Palm Beach County Administrator Virginia Baker.
Mayor?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I believe Ms. Baker is here in the building. Ms. Baker, if you could please join us at the podium. Chair and colleagues, thank you for the opportunity to present this proclamation. We have a phenomenal star in the building with us today, and I wanted to first get the formalities out of the way because this proclamation is something that's long overdue and much needed for the dedicated leader that we have in our community. So I'm going to read this proclamation, but then we also have another presentation as well. Proclamation from the Office of the Honorable Mayor of the City of Riviera Beach, Palm Beach County, Florida, honoring Ms. Virginia Baker. Whereas Virginia Baker has served with distinction as the Palm Beach County Administrator since 2015, skillfully managing a workforce of 7,100 employees and balancing a $9 billion budget for Florida's fourth largest county, home to 1.5 million residents. Whereas under her leadership, Palm Beach County has maintained a progressive AAA bond rating, a distinction held only by 4 counties in Florida and 58 nationwide, ensuring fiscal strength and stability. Whereas Ms. Virginia Baker began her exemplary career in Palm Beach County in 1987 as a budget analyst and has since demonstrated visionary leadership, fostering collaboration with strategic partners to enhance the quality of life for residents and businesses alike. Whereas she played a pivotal role in recruiting the Florida Script Research Institute, laying the foundation for the county's thriving sector, championing the 2016 Infrastructure Sales Tax Initiative, securing $2.7 billion over 10 years for schools, roads, and public facilities. Whereas she's a steadfast advocate for equity, spearheading initiatives such as mandatory inclusive workforce housing programs, community land trusts, and the revitalization of small minority and women business enterprise program in 2019. Whereas her leadership in economic and tourism development was brought prestigious events to Palm Beach County, including the 2012 presidential debate, Super Bowls 2001, 2007, 2020, and efforts to expand Major League Baseball spring training. Whereas she is instrumental in critical census redistricting efforts in 2010 and 2020, and holds advanced degrees in public administration, rehabilitative services from Florida State University. Whereas Ms. Virginia Baker is deeply committed to community service, holding a leadership roles in organizations such as the National Forum of Black Public Administrators, American Society for Public Administrators, and the Black Chamber of Commerce, St. Mary's Hospital Board, and Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, among many others. Whereas she has earned her numerous professional and civic awards, and her mentorship through programs like Women of Tomorrow continues to inspire future leaders. Now, therefore, I, Mayor Douglas Lawson, proudly recognize Ms. Virginia Baker for her exceptional leadership, unwavering commitment to public service, and transformational impact on Palm Beach County. A legacy of integrity, initiative, and advocacy for equity will continue to benefit generations to come. Signed this day, July 16th, 2025. Thank you, Mr. President. In addition to our proclamation, today is both historic and deeply personal because I'm going to stand here today to present my very first key as the mayor. The key of the city of Riviera Beach to Ms. Virginia Baker. Now, Ms. Baker has made history as the first African-American and first woman to ever serve as county administrator for Palm Beach County. She didn't just break barriers, she set a standard with grace, with intelligence, and unmatched dedication. She's led one of the largest counties in the state of Florida. Managing those billions of dollars is something that a woman from our community, a black woman, did in Palm Beach County. And I will forever be grateful and honored to see that. Your service hasn't gone unnoticed, especially to a little black boy from Riviera Beach that serves as this mayor of the city of Riviera Beach. And I thought of no one better to bestow this honor of my very first key of the city to Ms. Virginia Baker. If we could take a quick picture with Ms. Baker on the side. Madam Chair?
Yeah, put the key in front of, put the key in front of the picture. Nobody can catch that. Nobody caught it. Okay.
And now, thank you, Madam Chair. And if we can hear from the great Honorable Ms. Virginia Baker.
Mayor, thank you very much. Members of the council, thank you as well. City manager, city attorney, thank you. I really want to give a special thank you to our city attorney as well as our city manager. I've worked with you in various areas, and we've always been able to work things out for the betterment of our community. So I want to thank you on a professional level for your service. I am humbled by the city. I want to express my deepest gratitude to each member of the council, recognizing my efforts and contributions to the community. There are times that in our positions, you never know what's going on, who's paying attention and who's not. What we work toward is staying professional, doing what is best for all the people in our community, and that means all of the people. So I know that we will continue to work together in this. This is not just an honor of my recognition of work, but it reflects the work of my staff, that some of them are here, my former staff, I should say, who actually over the 38 years I've worked with the county, some of them I've worked with for 38 years, and others not as long, but they have been there. No man is an island. We all need somebody to work with us to get things across the finish line. And for that, I want to say thank you to Team PBC. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all of the support throughout the years. But I'd also have to say thank you to your staff, because without collaboration, we could not do half the things that we get done. The fact that we're able to go to Palm Beach County Day in Tallahassee to visit our representatives, and we take not only the county, but we have our municipal partners as well as our business community. And they are impressed with the fact that we come as a community. And so I, again, thank you for all of the efforts. I have retired, but I'm still in the community. So we all need to continue to work toward workforce affordable housing, because if not, our community will not remain a viable community. And so I know that your CRA has done an excellent job working with the county in bringing workforce affordable housing to our community, and I hope that we will continue to work together. I would like to thank you for your visionary leadership, because you are moving this city. You are a jewel. Our beaches here in Riviera Beach are exceptional, and they're beautiful beaches. So I do hope that we will continue to work together as we work to bring tourism to our community, and we continue to build a community that we can all be proud of, live, work, and play. So again, thank you for all that you've done and what you will continue to do to the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your contributions to not just this city, but the entire Palm Beach County. We have you ready, Mr.
Thank you,
Thank you
Madam
so
Chair.
much. You can go ahead, sir.
County Administrator Baker, congratulations again. You deserve all of it and more. You have been a phenomenal leader and a pillar in this community, so thank you for your leadership. Okay, you all, as we talked about, session went from 60 days to 105 days. Just so you all know, there are 120 members in the Florida House of Representatives. It is made up of 87 Republicans, 33 Democrats. That means we have a supermajority in the Florida House and a supermajority in the Florida Senate. I sit on 6 different committees. One thing I'm very interested to talk about later on is the Select Committee for Property Tax Relief, which is super important. If you look at the legislation that I passed, every member of the House has 7 bills that they can pass. All of my bills are around education and housing. So appropriations, this is one of the most important parts, bringing money home for our district. I didn't say it, but I represent Lake Park, Riviera Beach, West Palm Beach, Mangonia Park, and Royal Palm Beach. What sticks out is that we almost got that $750,000 for the special district new water plant. We're going to fight for it again and ask for more money, but we did, again, bring home money for the law enforcement training facility. The budget was $117 billion. To put that into perspective, if you broke Florida out as a country, we'll be the 15th largest country in the world, economic-wise. What was key in this budget, that we spent $47 billion on healthcare. That was the only part of the budget that did not decrease this year. Also, what is unique is that we put $4 billion into putting scholarships into private schools. We put an unprecedented amount of almost $15 billion into our reserves in case there is a rainy day. As you all would want to say, there's a hurricane, we have money to help our counties. The governor vetoed 567 million line items. Also, it's important, some of these things that you may or may not want to write down. Law enforcement, you will receive a 10% increase. If you've been working for over 5 years, you will receive a 15% increase. We also have made a permanent back-to-school holiday. That holiday will start August 1st and August 10th. Again, that will be permanent, but that's something you definitely would like to take advantage of. What's also going to be unique, the Florida Senate ideal was to make clothing and shoes $75 and under, tax-free, so you can look forward to that as well. That's going to be a permanent sales tax. What's also very, very important and unique, the state of Florida has decided to eliminate the business rent tax. So all those who are owning a property commercial, you would no longer have to pay the business rent tax. That may be good for those owners and some of those who lease properties, so they don't pass down some of those fees. But it also does take money away from the overall budget of the state of Florida, especially where we are, I don't want to say we're going into a recession, but we're not collecting as much money in the state of Florida as we once was. We have a huge baby boomer population about to retire, meaning we're not going to be bringing in revenue as we once did. Housing, this is what everyone cares about the most. What did we do for insurance? The supermajority did nothing. We did subpoena insurance agency heads to ask them what they're doing with the money. We ended up with more questions than answers. But Here's what's actually important. You all, the My Safe Florida Home program, I talk about it every single year. This is a $10,000 grant. So this is free money the state is giving out to fix up your roof, your windows, and your doors. This money goes fast, really quick. I'm trying to have a party for residents to sign up together, and we all walk through it, but y'all need to take advantage of that $10,000. If you were looking to get into your first home, we have the Hometown Heroes program that offers first-time home buyers assistance, along with the State Housing Initiatives Partnership. Property tax, I don't know if you all have been watching the news. There have been some statements floating around about eliminating property tax. Realistically, I don't see that happening, and if so, we would have to put it on the ballot in 2026. Being on the Select Committee for Property Tax Relief, there are 5 proposals. I'm not going to read through them. They are in your packet, but these are the 5 clever ideas that the supermajority has offered thus far. Education. Currently, this session was really focused on giving charter schools more rights. So right now, you all can vote to turn a public school into a charter school. And if that was to happen, the parents and the teachers will have to vote for it as well. Well, in this new law, we're doing away with the teachers and only parents vote. So if you wanted to make a public school private, you vote and then the parents vote. And so that is a way that you can make a public school to a job engine charter school. Not saying I agree with it, but that is the law. Cell phones, if you have children K through 8, you all need to be ready. They are banning cell phones, so you will get some pushback from your teenagers. And it is a pilot going on right now for high schools. They want kids to be more focused. The school district is responsible for making carve-outs. If so, a student is a caregiver, or you may have health concerns, they may have their phones. But as the law right now, everyone will not have their phone. Exams, so they are doing more testing for diabetes. For those who are on the spectrum, they're giving more background checks for athletic coaches. An AED machine will be required in every single school from here on out. In the last session, they tried to change the school's start times, which was a horrible decision. We reversed that decision this year. Business, okay, the only bill I really want y'all to care about on this slide is SB 1080. Team, I really want y'all to just make sure you're aware of it. This is gonna say if someone applies for an application for a permit, you have 5 days to notify me that you received it. You have 30 days to tell me if something's wrong with it, and you have 180 days to make a decision. And I think we have the resources here to get that done, but we have some rural counties in the state of Florida, like Escambia and Lafayette, who will have some trouble. Healthcare, and I'm coming to a close, you all. This is a very important bill, you all, SB 1808. Just so you know, y'all, if someone says SB, that's a Senate bill. They say HB, that's a House bill. SB 1808. Essentially, if you went to any healthcare facility and you somehow overpaid for that treatment, it is required by law that they pay you back. That should have been in law, but now it is in law. And you all, I'm going to conclude my PowerPoint with that. If you all have any questions, if you want to be a part of that, the My Safe Florida sign-up party, please let me know. I do want to give you all my cell phone number. Don't call after 8. My fiance don't play. My cell phone number is 321-604-7590. Lastly, I want to say, Councilman Guyton, congratulations. Welcome to the council. Councilwoman Davis-Pinnier, congratulations. Welcome to the council. My leadership classmate, congratulations on you receiving that Leadership Palm Beach County Award. Mayor, phenomenal job, very impressive. You all, thank you so much for your time. Again, if you have any questions, you all have my number.
Thank you. And so when you get flyers for that party, could you send it to the city so that we can?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Madam Chair,
Yes, go ahead.
I've got one quick question.
Yes, sir.
How do the cuts in Medicaid impact Florida?
That's a phenomenal question. Thank you for asking that. So you know they have that one big, beautiful bill, which is going to cut most of the funding coming to Medicaid and SNAP. And the state of Florida respectfully does not care. They're not going to supplement it whatsoever. Intentionally, last year, they wiped out almost 1 million people from the rolls of Medicaid. And so for them, there will not be any help. So we're going to be questioning it. We're going to be trying to fight for it. But as of now, how they feel, they're following the federal government's approach. It is sad, but it's true. Thank you for that question.
Madam Chair,
Yes, go ahead.
one more question. I was watching something on different municipalities in Florida, and what was being reported on a news channel was that the governor was vetoing most of the water utilities requests because he wanted to go through a granting process. Is that accurate, or is that why we may have gotten vetoed?
I can't say if maybe that was the process. I'll tell you there's a lot of egos in Tallahassee, and the governor does not discriminate when it comes to vetoes. So everybody's on the table to get cut.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you so much,
Madam
sir, for
Chair?
your presentation. Yes, go ahead.
Sorry, Madam Chair, I just want to thank Rep. Edmonds for your amazing service and dedication to the community. I appreciate the report and everything and staying consistent, steadfast. Every time we get a chance to get to Tallahassee, you welcome us with open arms. Even though you're from this community, you still treat us as just your right hand. So we appreciate you, and we thank you for the service you've done for this community and for the dollars you've brought back. You and former Senator Bobby Powell and Senator McBernard.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to do a chat presentation next time, so thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all.
Sir. Madam Clerk, can we go to our next item?
Madam Chair, the next item is item 60, presentation from the Palm Beach County Commission on Ethics.
Hello.
Yes, hi, go
My
ahead.
name is Gina Levesque, and I serve as the Intake and Compliance Manager for the Palm Beach County Commission on Ethics. Today, I'd like to share a little about who we are, what we do, and how we can be a resource for you. The Commission on Ethics was established in 2010 following a 2009 grand jury recommendation for ethics reform in Palm Beach County. Our mission is simple but crucial: to promote integrity in public service, build public trust, and ensure that private interests do not interfere with public duties. What sets our commission apart is its independence. We operate separately from other county or municipal governments, and our 5 volunteer members are appointed by independent organizations. This structure ensures fair and impartial oversight. We provide oversight, accountability, and transparency for more than 12,000 public officials, employees, and advisory board members, as well as certain vendors and lobbyists throughout Palm Beach County. The Code of Ethics applies not only to county governments, but to also all 39 municipalities, ensuring that public officials and employees act with integrity, independence, and impartiality, and that a public office is never used for personal gain. But our role is not just about enforcement, it's about prevention. We place a strong emphasis on education because we believe the best way to prevent ethical violations is to ensure that people understand the rules before they make decisions. That's why we provide ongoing training and advisory opinions to help officials and employees navigate ethical concerns before they become an issue. In fact, we've issued nearly 560 advisory opinions to date. While we do have authority to impose penalties such as reprimands and fines up to $500 per violation, our primary goal is to educate, guide, and prevent violations before they occur. We also ensure transparency by making all advisory opinions, gift forms, voting conflict forms, and complaints publicly available on our website. At the Commission on Ethics, we encourage everyone to remember one simple phrase: ask first, act later. If you ever have a question regarding the application of the Code of Ethics, please reach out to us before making a decision or taking an action. You can find resources, request training, or contact us by visiting our website at palmbeachcountyethics.com or by calling 561-355-1915. Thank you for your time, and most importantly, thank you for your commitment to ethical governance. If anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. I've also left my business card with each of you in case you'd like to reach out after the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Ms. Levesque? Thank you so much for your presentation.
Thank you.
Our next item,
Madam Chair, we are on item 6D, proclamation designating July 2025 as Parks and Recreation Month in the city of Riviera Beach.
I was going to ask all the Parks employees to come on forward, but thank you, everyone from Parks. Director Young made sure that we were intentional about making sure July recognizes as Parks and Recs Month. So we do have a proclamation from the Mayor's office proclaiming July as Parks and Recs Month. Whereas Parks and Recreation is an integral part of communities throughout this country, including the city of Riviera Beach. Whereas Parks and Rec promotes health and wellness, improving the physical and mental health of people who live near parks. Whereas Park and Rec promotions time spent in nature, which positively impacts mental health by increasing cognitive performance and well-being and alleviating illnesses such as depression, attention deficit disorders, and Alzheimer's. Whereas Parks and Rec encourages physical activities by providing space for popular sports, hiking trails, swimming pools, and many other activities designed to promote active lifestyles. Whereas Parks and Rec is a leading provider of healthy meals, nutrition services, and education. Whereas Parks and Rec's programming and education activities such as outdoor time, programming for youth, and environmental education are critical to childhood development. Whereas Parks and Recs increases communities' development and prosperity through increased property values, expansion of local tax base, and increased tourism and attraction and retention of businesses, and crime reduction. Whereas Parks and Recs is fundamental to the environmental well-being of our community, and whereas Parks and Recs is essential and adaptable infrastructure that makes our communities resilient in the face of natural disasters and community change and climate change. Whereas our parks and natural recreation areas ensure the economic beauty of the community and provide a place for children and adults to connect with nature and recreate outdoors. Whereas the U.S. House of Representatives has designated July as Parks and Recs Month, whereas the city of Riviera Beach also recognizes July as Parks and Recs Month, and benefit derives from parks and recreational services. Now, therefore, I, Douglas Lawson, Mayor of the city of Riviera Beach, do recognize the month of July as Parks and Recs Month, and further expand appreciation to the city of Riviera Beach Parks and Recs Department for the vital services that are performed and their exemplary dedication to the city of Riviera Beach. Setting my hand on the seal, July 16, 2025. Signed, Mayor Douglas Lawson. Thank you. And if we can have a few words from our director, Director Casey Young.
Good evening. No, there it is. There it is. Good evening, Chair Lanier, City Council, Mayor, City Manager, Casey Young, Parks and Recreation Director. Thank you for this opportunity to recognize Parks and Rec Month in the city of Riviera Beach. Again, these are the individuals who serve this community. Yes, thank you. Yes, give them a round of applause. Round of applause. These are the individuals that serve this community daily to maintain our parks, to provide recreation programs, provide customer service. During this month, please take a moment to thank them for the service that they provide to the community. Also, take a moment to visit a park, participate in a program, and volunteer to really get involved. So again, just thank you for this opportunity and this proclamation recognizing July as Parks and Rec Month in the city of Riviera Beach.
So we just stand up here? Okay. Oh, the partition. Yeah, all right. So, I got one of them steps here that they put in, didn't they? It's good. Okay. Thank you again to the microphone. Thank you again to the Parks and microphone. I'm about to use the microphone.
Testing.
Oh, we got it. Thanks again to the Parks and Recs Department, Parks and Recs programs throughout the city of Riviera Beach. We appreciate your diligence and your commitment to our city. Thank you again. We can move on to our next item.
Madam Chair, we are on item 6E, recap of Bahamian delegation visit and sister city partnership.
Mr. Evans.
Madam Chair, members of the board, at this time, Chief of Staff, Mr. Eric Range, will be making this presentation.
Mr. Range.
Madam Chair, good evening, Mayor Lawson, honorable city council members, city manager, city attorney, city clerk, and staff, esteemed residents of Riviera Beach, and members of the public. My name is Eric Range, Chief of Staff for Mayor Doug Lawson. It is with great pleasure that I am here today to report to you a successful reestablishment of our sister city relationship with Freeport, Bahamas. This recent visit from the Freeport delegation was an overwhelming success, culminating in a formal reestablishment of our sister city relationship. Over the course of their visit from May 18th to May 23rd, the delegation engaged in a wide range of activities and discussions that lay a strong foundation for future collaboration. On Sunday, May 18th, the delegation began their visit by attending service at Pleasant Heights Missionary Baptist Church, where Pastor Carter and Mayor Lawson extended a warm welcome. They also had the opportunity to attend the Boots on the Ground community event at the Tate Recreation Center, socializing with residents and immersing themselves in a community cultural event. Mayor Lawson formally welcomed the delegation to the city, and the chief counselor from the Freeport delegation publicly expressed gratitude for the hospitality. Monday, May 19th marked the official commencement of the agenda with a formal meeting at the Riviera Beach Public Library Training Room. City Manager Evans provided an in-depth presentation on our city departments, governance, current initiatives, fostering valuable dialogue and sharing of insights between our cities. Later that evening, the delegation attended the mayor's listening tour, the education stop, at the Riviera Beach Marina event, gaining some substantive information addressing our students' needs. Tuesday, May 20th, was dedicated to crucial discussions on emergency management and public safety. The delegation visited Fire Station 87.
Hold on a second, Mr. Range. We're having too much noise in the back. I can't. Where's the noise coming from? Outside, are the doors closed? Yeah. Tell them to be a little quiet because we can't hear up here. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, and there is a PowerPoint presentation that was attached to the agenda and provided in the backup. In the essence of time, I am moving forward. I know you guys want to keep the agenda rolling tonight. So on Tuesday, May 20th, hold on, let me make sure I'm, okay. Tuesday, May 20th, there was dedicated to crucial discussions on emergency management and public safety. The delegation visited Fire Station 87 in the EOC, meeting with Fire Chief and Deputy Fire Chief to understand our operations and share insights on Freeport's emergency management needs. They also visited the police department, engaging with Chief Coleman and his staff for a thorough overview of police operations and potential future training initiatives. Wednesday, May 21st, focused on exploring tourism and fostering economic growth. The delegation toured the port of Palm Beach, learning about its operations and its significant trade with the Bahamas. Discussions revolved around tourism, trade, investment, and collaboration for small businesses. They also met with the CRA team, discussing tourism initiatives and the possibility of including Bahamian businesses in the CRA Business Boot Camp. That evening, during the regular city council, this council reestablished a sister city relationship and formally acknowledged with a proclamation presented to the delegation read by former Mayor Bishop Masters. On Thursday, May 22nd, the delegation toured the Small Business Association of Riviera Beach, discussing potential small business exchanges, trade missions, cultural events like an annual Goombay Festival, and they also had a hard hat tour with the new Found Care facility. In the afternoon, they visited Riviera Beach Prep and Palm Beach State College, exploring collaboration for student education and discussing opportunities for education exchange between our students. The day culminated with a formal dinner and the official Sister City Agreement signing ceremony at Tiki at Safe Harbor, a culturally immersive event where the agreement was discussed and pleasantries were exchanged between the mayor and the delegation and our council. Finally, on Friday, May 23rd, after a day of leisure and shopping, a farewell reception and business and government networking reception was held at Flair House. This was to provide an opportunity for staff, residents, and to say farewell to the delegation. I want to extend some of the benefit areas that we did identify through our discussions is economic collaboration, cultural exchanges, and environmental sustainability, and diplomatic networking between our two cities. Finally, I want to acknowledge that I want to acknowledge some of our partners. We had local vendors who supported us throughout the entire process, whether it be to serve food or to assist in setting up our schedule and making sure that our delegation felt at home and felt welcomed. I want to extend my sincere gratitude to all of the local businesses who partnered with us. Their support was invaluable. This entire endeavor, including providing hospitality through food and entertainment, incurred a total expenditure of $14,317.52. This investment was crucial in facilitating these productive meetings and cultural exchanges and strengthening the bond between our two cities. The fruitful discussions and engagement across various sectors, from emergency management and public safety to economic development and education, lay a strong foundation for future collaboration. The mayor's office and the city manager's office will work collaboratively to facilitate and coordinate future discussions and initiatives, ensuring mutually beneficial and lasting sister city relationship, and we eagerly anticipate our visit to Freeport later this year. Madam Chair, that concludes my recap.
Thank you so much, sir, for that recap with the Bahamian delegation. Any other comments, Mayor?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Those are the comments. I believe we had a recap video, but for the sake of time, we will just share that for social media with the presentation. We will be having discussions during budget season to talk about tourism and the impacts and the benefits, the fiscal impact to the city, and then also the benefits of what our residents are going to be able to incur from actually establishing the sister and reestablishing the sister-city relationship. So I was honored to have the delegation here and continue to look forward to the work that we're going to do as a city. So thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Range. Madam Chair, I'm sorry, Madam Clerk.
Madam, we are on items under regular agenda, item 11A, resolution number 6225, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Riviera Beach, Palm Beach County, Florida, formally establishing a sister city relationship with the City of Freeport, Commonwealth of the Bahamas, recognizing the significance of the official delegation visit from May 17 through May 24, 2025, affirming mutual commitments to international cooperation in the areas of culture, economic development, tourism, governance, sustainability, and emergency management, authorizing the city manager to coordinate a formal framework for collaboration, providing for an effective date, and for other purposes. Do we have comment cards on this item, 11A? Madam Chair, we do not have any comment cards on this item. The acceptance of the cards is now closed.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Evans?
Madam Chair, members of the board, Resolution 6225 is to consummate the relationship between the City of Riviera Beach and Freeport, Grand Bahama. You heard from Chief of Staff Range with respect to the opportunity to work with the Freeport Bahama delegation and the community in other trade and economic development related activities, as well as coastal environmental sustainability, emergency management, and municipal government innovation. At this time, there is no fiscal impact associated with the adoption of this particular resolution, and any fiscal impact associated with this will be discussed as part of the budget process, but there is no adoption or no cost associated with the adoption of this resolution. It's for the purposes of filing the relationship with the state and recognizing it as a official sister city relationship.
Any questions from the board? Madam Clerk?
Wait, Madam Chair, I do have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
I just wanted to know about, once this relationship is established, how are we going to measure results from this relationship? Or so how can we communicate that to the residents, and how often would they be visiting where we have to sponsor their visit? I want them to come back, but I don't know that we want to.
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
That is completely up to how we look to structure the relationship. In most sister city relationships, it alternates every year. So this year they were here. Next year is contemplated that the City of Riviera Beach will in fact visit them, and they would extend the same type of courtesies that we provided to them. As it relates to what the measurable outcomes and all that, once the relationship is established and it's part of the budget, I can have more robust conversations with them to find out what are some of the benefits, direct benefits, as it relates to the partnership with Freeport, Grand Bahama. There are some things that they mentioned also in conversations with the Port of Palm Beach that could actually bolster some opportunities for tourism and trade and the like. And so there is some fruits that could be realized as a part of this relationship, but that will be something that I'll have more details as part of your budget discussions this summer.
All right, thank you. Follow up.
Yes, go
And
ahead.
the reason why I'm asking is because I know this initiative was started years ago as well, and it didn't, not much was accomplished by it. So I'm just wanting to make sure that we are, not just doing something, but we're going to get some results from this relationship.
Yes, thank you. Can we go ahead and vote on that, Madam Clerk?
Councilperson Davis Panier,
Yes.
Councilperson Geisen,
Yes.
Chair Pro Tem Miller Anderson,
Yes.
Councilperson Spiritus,
Yes.
Chairperson Lanier? I
Yes.
apologize. Unanimous vote.
Thank you. We will move into our public comment section. For public comments shall begin at 7:30 p.m. unless there is no further business of the City Council, which in that event shall begin sooner. In addition, if an item is being considered at 7:30, the comments from the public shall begin immediately after the item has been concluded. Please be reminded the City Council Board has adopted rules of decorum governing public conduct during official meetings. That conduct board is right front and center in front of this table here. In an effort to preserve order, if any of the rules are not adhered to, the City Council Chairperson may have any disruptive speaker or attendee removed from the podium, from the meeting, and/or the building if necessary. Please govern yourselves accordingly. Madam Clerk, how many public comment cards do we have?
Madam Chair, we have received 18 public comment cards.
Very good, let's start.
The first speaker, the first name is Erwin. The second speaker is Dosha Newbold, and then followed by Mr. Wilbur BC.
All right, good evening to the council and city staff as well. Erwin Sinais, union representative for SEIU Florida Public Service Union. We currently represent over 160 of your employees in our bargaining unit. I wanted to just give an update from the last meeting we had on the USD settlement, and also because I know there was some questions about exactly what it was and stuff, just to give a little background and where we're at today. What's going on with the USD settlement around standby pay was, as of September, I believe 2021, the contract, the collective bargaining agreement between SEIU, Florida Public Service Union, and the city was breached in regards to our section in regards to standby pay that wasn't being adhered to. So just so that, no one's lost in definitions, what standby is, there's something called standby and there's something called callback. What standby is a dedicated group of workers that would be basically on tab for emergencies. For example, a sewer spill, a main backup, something like that, that there would be on standby for such emergencies, because at the time those type of things were happening pretty regularly, so having a dedicated team that could take care of that. You also have callback. Now, standby is mandatory. You also have callback, which is optional, which is, for those who want overtime, they'll give you a call, and obviously if you can't, if you're not available, they go on to the next person. So I wanted to go through that. So the breach was that the city made a decision, for whatever reason, to go away from standby. I'm assuming maybe to save money, whatever it is, but they went away from standby. And what was happening was our workers, our members who were on callback, basically callback was being enforced like standby. Callback is supposed to be voluntary, not mandatory. So it's being enforced as standby without the incentives. The other thing with standby has some extra incentives for being mandatory, being that because you can't be at home totally disconnected from work, because you have to be on point, ready to go, can't just stay in time with family, there are extra incentives for being on that status that are not there for callback. So long story short, to proceed forward in 2023, around summer, so April or something like that, we went to arbitration and we won the ruling as a union that the city does owe some funds, and was found that that was breached. So from there, we have given the data. There were some questions on the data that we gave. We gave the data, which included some calendars that came from our members. If I get a...
Thank you so much, sir.
I'm sorry?
Thank you for your comments.
Oh, all right, cool. But right now, we do have a meeting
yes.
set up,
Yes,
and
thank
we're
you.
just trying to get to the end of it.
Thank you, sir.
All right, cool, thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right.
The next public speaker is Dosha Newbold, followed by Wilbur BC and Lloyd Brown.
Good afternoon. I came here tonight because I want to
commend a lady of Franks, Edwards, the way she put the program together for the 4th of July. I was very impressed. I had people that came from Delray, Boynton, friends, and they were extremely impressed. She did an excellent job. There's hearsay that she spent too much money, but she doesn't have the right. Mr. Evans has to approve that money. I don't agree with him on nothing, but in this instance, it's gonna be the first time that you did the right thing. It was on time, it was beautiful, not just her, but all the police officers, all the city workers. I mean, it was clean, it was nice, it was enjoyable, and the people that's thinking that we spent too much money on it, we haven't had an event like that since 2019 before COVID. And they need to do their research because I did mine. Most of the money was spent, almost half of it was on fireworks. So we have to uplift our city and recognize when things were done right. So I want to say to Ms. Franks, Edwards, you did an excellent job. I hate to say this, but Mr. Evans, that's something you approved. That's okay with Ms. Newbold. The second thing, I meant to put in a comment card, but I wanted to hear what was said in reference to this relationship situation with Freeport City. I'm not being negative because my parents are Bahamians. My father's from Cat Island, my mother's from Exuma. My father got his citizenship through the government because he took a test for the Navy thinking he wouldn't go because he was from the Bahamas, and they hand-delivered him back in the 40s his citizenship. So with that being said, I'm not against anything happening for the Bahamas, but this is a bunch of fluff when it comes to this tourism situation. Since the storm that happened there that took out a lot of my family's homes, because my mother's father had 23 kids, they don't have an airport. They don't have a hotel. They don't have a casino. So until they rebuild Freeport back, I'm not understanding this so-called tourism relationship. There's nowhere for you to stay. You go on the boat, you stay on the boat, they have a couple motels, but you basically do all your entertainment on the boat. You gamble on the boat, you eat on the boat. That's why the boat goes for one day, a couple hours, and come back. So to spend $14,000 is ludicrous. And I will be back about us spending money. And the thing we need to do, abort all missions. Let's take the shit out the water.
Madam Chair, the next speaker is Wilbur B.C. Lloyd Brown, and followed by last name Jackson with the email address micah@ymail.
Good evening, I'm Wilbur V.C. I'm here as a law-abiding citizen. I've lived in this city all of my life. I'm almost 60 if I live 2 more weeks. But I'm here because I'm pissed. And it's not too often that I get pissed off, but I'm really pissed. My question to the council is, who runs the City of River Beach Police Department? My house was burglarized back in June. Some items were taken, and when I came back, I realized that some of the things that were taken was seized by the police department. So I went to the police department with the efforts of trying to identify these items so I can bring those items back home. I was met with negativity, unprofessionalism, to the point that I could have been arrested for the individual named Earl. I guess he's the only property person that the City of River Beach has in that position. I reached out to Chief Coleman. I reached out to other officials within the department, and here it is a month later, this card I got from the chief is useless. I called the number, spoke to Mrs. Robinson. She assured me that he would get the information and would return my call. But what I'm most upset about is I was blessed to do that job with 2 of the largest law enforcement agencies in the country for over 40 years. So I understand the inner workings of law enforcement agencies and all these operations. I understand that. I try to abide by the rules. I try to respect the police department because that was my profession for a long time. But when you call the police department, when you try to reach the individuals that you're paying to take vacations, enjoy their families, their livelihood, their food, their meals, because I pay millage, I pay property tax, I do all those things that is expected of me as a resident and a homeowner. But to not get a phone call back from anybody in almost a month is crazy. It's crazy. This is not the city of New York. We don't have 100 calls an hour or 200 calls an hour. There's someone in the chain of command that could reach out and say, hey, I'm just returning your call. Maybe I can help, maybe I can't. I have over a dozen weapons and ammunition. I can protect my family. I can do that. But the reason I pay tax is because the law enforcement is there to do that for me. So where I go? It's going to be another month. I'm not going to hear from his officials. I don't know. But I'll just say this. I do stand my ground, and I'm always scared.
Sir, there's a police officer, Major Gordon is right there. Please, could you please talk to him, please, sir? Thank you so much.
The next speaker is Lloyd Brown, followed by last name Jackson and Philip Dukes.
How you doing? You know, I just heard what he said. And let me tell you, my friend, you know, while you around here getting open containers and people standing on the corner drinking a beer or sitting in a place, you got these young guys going around now. They're not like me. They don't have a trade. They don't even know how to change a bicycle tire. What they know how to do is carry a gun, break in your house, and rob. So it's like you worried about people running stop signs. You sit up by the store all day long. That's why the man's house probably got robbed, because they on the corner watching somebody drinking a beer. I mean, check it out. And then with this thing with the Bahamas, let me tell you, I don't mind that. I don't think I got anybody from the Bahamas, but I think you ought to deal with what's going on here in this neighborhood, next door to you, around the corner from you, not across the water. Because if you look around, all these young kids you see walking the street, they don't have no trades. And then what makes it so bad, you subbing out everything. You sub out all these jobs, but then you don't want these kids to go out there and get in trouble when that's all they got to do. And then, I mean, sitting on the corner at a stop sign waiting on somebody to run it where there hadn't been an accident in 20 years. The last accident we had was down by almost by J Ministry, or whatever that street is, when a friend of mine got killed on a motorcycle. And he didn't run it. The lady ran the stop sign coming from off the road to S Avenue. But I'm saying, for you to put all the police effort into getting somebody sitting behind a tree drinking a beer, these people you see doing this, those will be the ones who are going to protect you when these young boys come out there and they pull out their guns on you, because they're not like me. They're going to shoot back at you. So, like, you go out here and you arrest this dude, and then you want to come back to him because he's drinking a beer and ask him, oh, did you see this? Hell no, I ain't see it. They ain't going to want to see none of that because they ain't going to want to be bothered. I knew most of the officers. I knew most of the people who I went to school with. Their parents were officers. But now it's a different situation. So you go out there, you want to play like you on in New York City or somewhere, like the lady was saying you in New York, or the man was saying you in New York, and you're going to be like the big boss on the corner. You know, you don't do that. You know, the last time people were being pulled as much as you pull people on the weekend, that was when in Lake Park. And you know what I did? I called, it was WJNO, and they told me when they stopped me I looked suspicious. Okay, we wouldn't even go to Lake Park. It's people say they don't even want to come to Riviera Beach because they get pulled. On Saturdays and Sundays, I hear more police pulling people than anything. You got these young kids around here robbing my friend in his front yard at 1 o'clock in the day while you sitting down by the washout.
The next speaker, last name is Jackson, followed by Philip Dukes and Joseph Bedford Sr.
Hi, everybody. How you doing? The reason why I'm here today because I'm sick and tired of sitting at home watching everybody just allowing this city to go down and I guess hell, if that's not a bad word, but I'm sick and tired of every time I turn around, y'all taking stuff away from us. Y'all need to realize we come first, not last. We're not just y'all property. We are residents in y'all areas. Y'all are building more stuff. What about these kids? What about the time that y'all need to spend time with these kids? I remember me and my auntie Betty Davis used to sit out there. She had a place there where we could feed kids and do all this other stuff, making sure they got their homeworks and stuff. Now y'all want to tear down Barracuda Bay. We used to have a movie theater. We used to have so much stuff done for us. And I'm so sick of tired. I'm so sick of tired. Y'all could just throw that water down the drain if you want to. We've been washing in that water. We've been cooking in that water. Y'all don't care nothing about us but our vote. And I'm sick and tired of voting for each and every last one of y'all because it's nothing getting done. I'm tired of wasting my voice with every last one of y'all. Even y'all allowing these slumlords to take over us. Y'all not even helping us with nothing. I had a landlord, Mark Brown, I would say his name, knew his house was towed up and took my deposit money. I ran to the city. Nobody don't help us. Why y'all not helping us, but y'all want to build a fireplace and Singer Island? Y'all want to build a police station. Whoop-de-doo. Y'all sit here and put these children first. Y'all crying about the crimes and all this in this city. It's not going to change. Y'all keep snatching everything from us. Y'all keep putting us on the back of the stool and take care of none of these people that don't even care nothing about us. Riviera Beach been something. Y'all are treating us like we've been trashed from day one. Stop lying about this water. Stop lying to these kids. These kids gonna continue to do crimes and tear up this city unless all of y'all that sit behind this desk wake up and take care of the kids first. Thank you for the 4th of July and making sure we had a great time, but it's over. Now it's coming back to school. What are y'all gonna do now? How y'all gonna take care of us? Y'all allowing this slumlord to take all our money. This rent is high. We are living in something. We got a president, it's a 34-time felony, basically ain't doing nothing, and we just sitting here allowing this to take over. Back in the days, black folks stuck together no matter what. I could knock on my neighbor's door and say, I'm hungry, she'll feed me. Now, it's pow-pow, because that's all these kids know. It's not a village no more. Y'all are destroying us as well as these pappies and mammies. Wake up and smell the coffee. Stop treating us like trash. I'm tired of this.
Ma'am, could I have the outburst in the audience, please?
The next speaker is Philip Dukes, followed by Joseph Bedford Sr. and Cindy March.
City Council, Mayor, everyone else in your respective places. Dr. Philip Dukes, CEO of Operation Restore, pastor, rabbi of Christian Community Fellowship Ministries. You know, I had made a commitment to come up here and talk about black history because black history and black people have been under attack in this country since its foundation. However, we have made some very good progress, but it has not been enough. Now, I was going to tell you about the black people, about how they invented stuff coming out of Africa, the place we call Africa, and the place we call Egypt is not Egypt, it's called Kemet, and all the great things that they did that your children and my children do not learn in the history book. And some of you have a problem with it. And it's because of, remember this little word that I made up called niggerization. Niggerization is what America put black people under, the negative connotation. You don't have any history, you don't have anything that contribute to history, so you are treated less than animals. And that ideology has been passed down in every facet of life. Now, I was going to talk to you about these other Africans who had mastered their land, the true nationalists, but I want to say something about this Reconstruction theonomous that's happening in our country right now. And in the next year and a half, this is no scare tactics. It's already in place. Have you noticed how this administration is doing away with all diversity? Everything that black people have achieved, they're tearing it down. Have you noticed that? Amen. Have you noticed that? And we as a city cannot sit by with our type of demographics and not lead the nation. It's not us against them. This poison has been here. We got to pick up the work of Pastor King, like this young lady who just said, and care about one another. But some of us, I ain't calling no names, you got your personal agenda. And that's what we got to move away from. We really care about people? Because what is happening in America is going to affect all of us in the next 2 years. But if we get ahead of the game and really put things in place and say we care about one another and start teaching truth that bring us together. And that's one thing about black history that it does. How many of you know who is the most important black person in the Bible? In the Old Testament. That's a proven fact. Black man and black woman. How many of y'all know who that actually is? Because the Bible is the best documented history book on the planet. It's deeper than the Bhagavad Gita. It's deeper than the Quran with all this mysticism in it. But the Bible, how many of y'all know who that is? That DNA, archaeology, and anthropology says so. I'm going to tell you who it is when I come back next week. Y'all be blessed.
Thank you. The next speaker is Joseph Bedford Sr., followed by Cindy March, and then Michael Jordan.
Greetings, City Council, Mayor, City staff. My name is Joseph Bedford Sr. I come tonight on a subject that's no personal intent behind it, but more about the business of the city of Riviera Beach. Some of you may or may not know the city manager's contract comes up this time next year. And I'm hoping that our city council members plan on having active communication, back and forth meetings with your constituents to see what direction that the city wants to go, whether we want to stay the course and renew for another 4 years as the contract says, or whether start looking at different avenues and different possibilities. So I'm just hoping that just something that you guys think and can put together some meetings so we can have this general discussion. Thank you.
The next speaker is Cindy March, followed by Michael Jordan, and then Margaret Shepherd.
Good evening, Council. I'm Cindy March. My first question is, why have we not made Deborah Hall the city clerk? Why do we still have active by her name? It's utterly ridiculous. This lady does a phenomenal job in this corrupt city. It's not fair. I'm so glad to hear that lady speak. I've always said, it's not about white and black. It's about doing what's right. It's about being honest. It's about being transparent. You all think these people are not watching because they're not at this meeting? I can't go from one store to the next store. I don't even know them, but they know me. I sat at my desk last week. Channel 5 called me, and several other companies called me and wanted me to do a press meeting with them. You know what I told them? I'm not leaving my job to talk about no water. And you can't come on my job to talk to me about no water. Because you know why? E. coli gonna take care of his own E. coli. You all not gonna be satisfied. Just like Felder said, he can walk out with his briefcase, but some of you all ain't gonna be able to. You all got to start being transparent and honest to these residents. We the one put you all in office. You sit up there like you don't even want to be there. Here, we're not always right. Yes, I know I can be disrespectful. I know that. I know I got a nasty disposition. But guess what? You got to bring it out of me. It just don't come out. I've been escorted out this door twice, and I did nothing wrong but freedom of speech, and I was deprived of it twice. And then you had somebody in here tonight to use profane language. Not one time she was escorted out. Well, that makes sense, that y'all? Come on, let's put it together. People are watching us. We're supposed to be our sisters and brothers keepers, just like the young lady said. The only person I got faith and trust in is the Almighty God. But when it comes down to a human being sitting on that board, I don't trust nobody but Glenn Spiritus. Nobody. I give Guyton a chance. But we got to stop with the photo op. We got to stop going to get a piece of paper from the Dollar Tree and put it in the frame and having all these presentations. We need clean water. I work today, no running water where I work today. Nobody got a notice. Nobody. It's time for somebody to go.
And y'all gonna have to build y'all balls, nuts, and screws and get rid of the leadership in here. It's poor, it's sour, it's despicable. And I'm sick and I'm tired, just like the other people. I can guarantee you, I promise you, if God's will, I'm gonna get me a group of 10 people, somebody coming up off this board.
The next speaker is Michael Jordan, followed by Margaret Shepard, and then Lynn Hubbard.
I'd like to say hello to the council and everybody. First of all, I always like to give credit where credit is due, and you know my main thing is to be respectful. I would like to commend Mr. Guyton from when we was in the utility meeting, how he spoke up on behalf of the residents concerning about the water and the way it was handled. When that's done, I can't help but agree because that's the right way. But I'm not going to be very long. You know, I see a lot of people has gotten frustrated. They're sick and tired of with the way that things are being handled. I know that we as residents should respect you all, and also you as the council should respect us. And I'm going to always do what I have to do to be respectful, but I will be direct. As I said many times before, and I say it again, we are in a partnership. The residents needs the council because we put you all there, okay? And the council needs the residents in order to stay there. So I can tell you like this, and this word comes from the book, which is the Bible, and it's the law. A kingdom divided against itself would never stand. So like I'm saying, I just want to see us.
Ma'am.
The only way that we will be able to move forward, yes, we have to respect one another, uplift one another, and we have to be like Spike Lee. We have to do the right thing. You understand what I'm saying? I don't never want to be nasty to anybody, but I can't continue to be respectful to you when you're more worried about the Bahamas and we have not corrected all the things we need to correct here. I'm willing to work to do my part, go out, talk with the residents, try to persuade them, but one thing about it, the real me can never be hid. It's going to come out. If I'm nasty and I'm about the wrong thing, that's what's going to come out. So the only way we can build a better city is to first build a partnership back between the community, the residents, and you all. Because when you're not up there, you become a resident as well. So that's the only thing that I'm asking, and I respect everybody. So, you know, like I said, once we can get past that, then this will be a better place to work, play, and sleep. As of right now, it's not.
Madam Chair, the next speaker is Margaret Shepard, followed by Lynn Hubbard, and then Dolores Williams.
Ma'am, we're not going to have all these talking in the audience. We cannot hear when the speaker comes up if you continue to talk. I will not warn you again. Go ahead, ma'am.
Margaret Shepard, Riviera Beach. Ms. Evans, I am indeed thankful to you. I know a lot of things are being said and done. My heart is broken of losing a great man, the Reverend Griffin Davis. He was my heart and soul. He was one I can go to and talk to. I often counsel him on different things. He always asked my opinion. I'm grateful that when I came home from vacation, the phone was just going wacky, and when I started reading it, the first thing I wanted to do was call you and to ask you to raise the flags at half-staff to recognize the Davis family and the Hilltop Missionary Baptist Church. But somebody told me, no, call Deirdre. And before I can get off the phone trying to get Deirdre, then they called me and said, Ms. Shepard, look, here's coming over the official letter from the city manager. I'm indeed grateful because he was a good man. He had his ways, like we all do. A lot of people don't know Reverend Davis loved to gossip. And after church, he said, Shepard, come sit back here, and I'll start telling him some stories. And he started laughing. He loved this city. The city was his heart. And a lot of people that have said on these days that Reverend Davis was the ones that put him there. They never called him or counseled with him or said anything. Once they were in the office, they did whatever they wanted to do. But he always would say to me, "That's all right, Shepherd, I'm good." And so today I thank you, Mr. Mayor, for just being my friend. We have our ups and downs, but the one thing I know, we've always maintained a dignity between the both of us. And for one, you said it, I didn't say it, but your wife, Jade, is the apple of my eye. She's the glue that holds us together. I'm not happy with a lot of things. I'm really not. But I want to say I'm appreciative of some things. I am Bahamian, pure Bahamian. My dad was born in Abbeyco, Cooperstown. And
Hold on, Ms. Shepherd. Stop Ms. Shepherd's time. Could I have the officer remove this, Ms. Cindy Marsh, because she continues to talk and we cannot hear our speaker. Please ask, officer, could you please remove her? I'm sorry, Ms. Shepherd. Could you continue?
I am pure Bahamian, Doug. And yes, it's a lot of devastation over the Bahamas. My family's there, and I go visit my family. But we have a lot of devastation here in Riviera Beach. Our seniors need water. I'm grateful to Mayor Michael D. Brown that brought 2 trucks of water here, 2 trucks of ice here, to make sure that our seniors have water. Number 2, I was listening to the gentleman over at the Housing Authority. And it's okay to come and want to do whatever it is you want to do, but I look at the people that laid the groundwork. Every director or every ED or whatever came and they robbed that city blind, that city of Riviera Beach blind. So now we're on the right road and the presentation and you know, when people ask me about running against you, and I hope they hear me because I hope they don't come to me and ask me, you're a politician. They run against you, better get their money wrapped up. That's what the mayor does. You're doing a job. You went District 5, and that's what I'm really upset about. I needed your vote on District 5 because it was things happening in our neighborhood. I needed you, and you were there. Dr. Potel was there. Mrs. Spirit is there. We have things that we need in our neighborhood.
Thank you so much, Ms. Shepherd.
Thank you. Thank you again, Mr. Mayor.
The next speaker is Lynn Hubbard, followed by Dolores Williams and Fane Losman.
Good evening, Lynn Hubbard, Riviera Beach. I'm not certain I'll have enough time to hit all 4 comments that I'm here to make tonight. The first thing I'm here to talk about, most importantly, is the encroachment of the project on my property. And on the property, I live on the bank of the canal that runs from O Avenue to R Avenue. We started talking about this project when it first came to town. There, we told you what we suspected would happen. There were all kind of promises about the development. When we put up fences on our property, we were asked to leave 5 feet of easement. They have taken over 5 feet of, they have come across the 5 feet of easement. They started working down in the canal, but they thought they were really slick. And they were digging out the foundation of the easement, and you could feel the vibration coming through our homes all the way across the other side of the street. I have a neighbor, Mrs. Wilson. A lot of you went to Suncoast, so you knew her son, Erica and Seneca Wilson. They live on the other side, and she feels the vibration. My neighbor, his name happened to be Mr. Wilson also. He lives on the same side I do, but in another block. And they're feeling the vibration. There's dirt being moved down there. These people said, one, that they were going to have a certificate of insurance to repair the damages that they were doing to people's house. So we now have an attorney that we're going to have to pay to put in an injunction. We have sent 2 emails to the city, and we're asking for
an immediate injunction for a stop work order until this is satisfied. If you just come out there and you stand at the canal rail on R Avenue and Blue Heron, you will see how they have gutted out the foundation under the easement, under that 5 feet, that has no other choice but to do damage to our properties. Our houses have been there for a minimum of 30 years or better. So we are asking you to interject your power, to intervene, to come out and stand up for us as residents, because they are destroying our property. A lot of things they're doing, they won't be able to undo. We definitely won't be able to stop them if you don't come out and give them a temporary stop work order. You, at the very least, I think you'll be devastated by what you see is happening behind our homes. There are at least 30 or 40 homes that sit on that canal, and we need you guys to come out and stand up for us. Thank you.
The next speaker is Dolores Williams, followed by Fane Lozman and Dale Holness.
Good evening to the board and the citizens of Riviera Beach. I want to ask a question. I can comment on about Deborah. Now, you, Ms. Evans, you know how you and please give the position, okay?
Ms. Dolores, you have to address the board.
The what?
You cannot address staff. You have to address the board.
Well, you got to put
You
my
have to
minutes
address
back on there then.
the board, ma'am.
I didn't address the board. I said to the board and the council.
Okay.
So you want me to give you your name, every name?
No, just address the board. Thank you.
Well, I want a minute back on there, okay? I want to ask a question. Please, Mr. Evans, give her the title she should have. And I want to ask a question because when you fill out paperwork or send, they ask you what's your area code, and they say 33404. They say, oh, you're in West Palm? No. How much do we get from the county sharing for our zip code with West Palm Beach in there? I want y'all to find that out for me. And about the island, my father's from the island, but I think you should, Council Chairman, you say the last time we was here, somebody got up and was lying about that. I wasn't lying, I was asking a question. Mayor Felder did try to do all what you're saying, and all the stuff was being said about that. So we want to give him some honor that he did try to do that. He just didn't have the proper thing because the government said you could not do that, just like what they're trying to do. So again, and I want to honor two of the officers here. They scored 98 and 97 on the test. There's some good officers here. And I want y'all to recognize him. I know the man. I want y'all to check on that and see what problem he's having, because I think highly of you, officer. I always come up to you and tell you that, and the chief. In Barracuda Bay, y'all was saying y'all was going to change all this and bring it over here, pull the city over there, and put this over there. Wasting monies, thousands of dollars to move it. Stop trying to put other things and overpass the water. The owner, you say Bill should be, you know the man what Ms. Hubbard was saying. You know, when he first came for this council, he was saying, I want to build this, this little thing here like we have on Blue Heron. You know what that man said? And I asked him a question about it. He said, well, we build that to keep y'all from coming to Palm Beach Garden. Now, why you want to let somebody come and do that? He want to build something so we can't go up there. It's a freedom everywhere. So check on that. Like they ask you to check on that stuff. I need some more time because you interrupt me.
Thank you so much for your comments.
Okay, now you need to stop interrupting us and you trying to stop people.
The next speaker is Fane Lozman, followed by Dale Holness, and then Doretta Paul.
Fane Lozman, I am sick and tired of coming up here and seeing this A-frame thing with rules of decorum that are unconstitutional. Go read Moms for Liberty versus Brevard Public Schools. There was a 2024 decision by the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 11th Circuit. This is unconstitutional. Now, we understand that the city council person thinks she controls the world around here with the police officers and throwing people out, but the four of you have an obligation to say we are not going to ratify what she's doing. So by your silence, you're ratifying these rules which are chilling the speech in this chambers. I'm a member of the First Amendment Foundation Sunshine Brigade. I've been fighting for the First Amendment for the last 20 some odd years. I won a U.S. Supreme Court case over the First Amendment. These rules are unconstitutional. You have a city attorney, why doesn't she go look up the Moms for Liberty versus Brevard County School case and say, we can't use these rules here? It's screwed up, but you're ratifying it, including Guyton, Kashama Miller Anderson,
You have to address the entire
Spiritus.
board.
These rules are unconstitutional. If I want to say, let's talk about somebody individual. Guyton, I'm not Guyton, excuse me, sir. Let's talk about Spiritus. Yesterday,
Sir, you cannot.
oh, I
no.
sure can.
You cannot,
Yesterday, I was at my property on Singer
You cannot
Island.
single out a
I was on
council
Singer
member up
Island,
here,
and
sir.
a
cannot do
guy
that.
was given a trespass
You
warning
cannot do it.
for coming on my property. They said, well, we really can't do anything because Spiritus and the city
Officer,
attorney
we
and
need
the
to have
city
this
attorney
gentleman.
gave
You
a
cannot
directive.
point out,
Gave
officer,
a I
please
can certainly point out the
escort
city
this
attorney
man out
and
of
Glenn
the meeting
Spiritus gave a
because
directive
you
that I
cannot.
cannot, I certainly
you can't
can't
do it.
address somebody
Yes,
that's doing something.
He needs to have a seat.
I'm not going anywhere, miss.
He needs to have a seat.
No, I'm not. I'm not going anywhere. I'm allowed to address.
We're going, hold on a second.
I'm not going anywhere. You
We're going
cannot
to-
arrest me for the content. I'm not going anywhere. I have another 59 seconds to go.
You
I
can't,
can point
and
out.
you're not going to address
I can
an
point out
individual
that Mr.
council person.
Spiritus and the city attorney
You cannot do that.
prevented the trespass of a. I'm not going anywhere.
We will take a 5-minute recess.
I'm not going anywhere.
You gotta go. call the meeting back to order, and I'm going to preference this, Mr. Lozman, talking to the board in general. You can address this board. Speaking to an individual member here is not a part of our rules of conduct. I will allow you to speak as freely as you like, but to attack a member of this board is not going to be tolerated.
I'm going to address what happened yesterday at my Singer Island property.
Okay, go ahead and address that.
Yesterday, an individual named Matt Lynch, who had been given a trespass warning, a written trespass warning, trespassed on my property. Lynch then went inside and got an email from the city attorney saying that he was allowed basically to trespass on the property. He also said that Spiritus and Sergeant Brown, I think it was, a few weeks prior, said that Spiritus said it's okay basically to trespass because they don't know where the property boundaries are. I gave a map from the property appraiser's office to Deputy Chief Coppins, and it shows what the property lines are. Until something changes, people cannot transit through my property. We have 30 acres on Singer Island, and they can't move through it. But Spiritus and the city attorney, they're using those words and that guidance to let people trespass. And now it's even escalating from there. I want to have my private property rights, and I don't want them taken away, and somebody needs to look into that.
So much for your comments, sir.
Madam Chair, the next speaker is Dale Holness, followed by Doretta Polk.
Mayor Lawson, Chairperson Lanier, Chair Pro Tem Miller Anderson, Councilpersons Guyton, Spiritus, Davies Palmer, City Attorney, City Manager, City Clerk, good afternoon. This is a very lively place. In fact, of the more than 30 cities that I have attended their meetings, you have the most civic engagement of any. Absolutely. And the time that you offer of 3 minutes is quite generous. Many places it's 2 minutes. The quorum that you have of not having someone personally attack anyone on the dais, or anyone for that matter, is commonplace. Certainly everyone has their right to free speech, and as much as that can be accommodated, I think it's good for governance. The more civic participation you have, the better you're able to govern, because you hear from your people, and I think I see a lot of that here in the city of Riviera Beach. I was here for the 4th of July event. It was spectacular, really wonderful event. The one thing that I'd say I would love to have seen more of is more of your small local business exposure, engagement. While you have that many people in place, it'd be good to give them some exposure at the same time. In terms of tonight's award of the keys and the proclamation to Ms. Virginia Baker, it's well deserved. I served as mayor of Broward County during COVID-19, and the cooperation that we had between the Palm Beach administration, the Palm Beach mayor at the time, was very fruitful. It helped us to save lives and at the same time ensure that our businesses weren't terribly affected. Sister City International is a powerful organization. In fact, when 9/11 occurred and New York suffered such economic loss, they reached out to their sister cities across the world, and they have probably more sister cities than any other city in the United States, and asked them to come and visit so that they can restore their economy through tourism. And they did get quite an uptake of support from those sister city programs that exist. The Bahamas, people in the Bahamas use South Florida as their shopping mall and their grocery stores. And certainly in Broward County, we benefit tremendously from those cruise ships, because they don't usually love to take the airplane, because they go back with 3 suitcases full many times. That's extra cost if they were to take an airplane. Oh, my time's up already.
Thank you so much, sir.
I wasn't paying attention to the clock. But
Thank
just,
you so
just to
much.
say that I see great things happening here
Yes,
in the city of
thank you.
Riviera Beach.
Thank you so much.
Madam Chair, the last speaker is Doretta Polk.
Good evening. My name is Doretta Park, and I'm a citizen of Riviera Beach. And I just want to send my condolence to the family of Reverend Griffin Davis, his wife, and his family of their loss of this great pastor. I want to also commend Miss Lydia Franks for that beautiful 4th of July event that took place here. It was absolutely wonderful. And thank you very much. Thank you. I want to talk to about a program I went to, the American Heart Association had at Pleasant Heights Church this past Saturday. They had numerous organizations there. They had diabetes screening. They had HIV testing, mental health resources for the community. They had cooking demonstrations and community partners and bridges. Were there. And they were handing out some valuable pre-K literature and booklets to help our children be prepared going into pre-K and first grade. I want to also commend Officer Elliott and Officer Forso. I think I'm not pronouncing it right. I have never experienced any bad experience with our officers, our firefighters, at all in this city. They came out to my home because I had a little issue, and they were very kind and courteous and let me know what probably happened. But when I call the non-emergency number, they come. I have never had that problem in 35, 40 years living here, and I've been here all my life. So I want to commend these officers and the firefighters, women and men, because they do an amazing job in taking care of us. I wanted to also thank Mayor Lawson and also Chair Lanier, because they use local vendors that I know of, because I've come to the event, and that's what we probably should use, local vendors for food, chefs, cooks, and it's very tasty. We're having a fun, event at Lindsay Davis this Friday. It's a fish fry, and Miss Latoya, and she's outstanding chef, and I want to commend her. I want to commend Mr. Gwen Oates for all she do with Lindsay Davis, and also Mr. Casey. And I thank you so much.
Yes.
And you're doing an awesome, amazing job, Mr. Evans. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Evans, do you want to address any of the comments from the public, please?
Yes, Madam Chair. With respect to the dispute concerning standby pay, we are meeting tomorrow morning at 7:30, and I think we're close to resolving that particular issue. So I will inform the board on the status of that meeting tomorrow morning. The gentleman that spoke about not receiving information from Riviera Beach Police Department, I did see a situation where Major Gordon did try to have a conversation with the individual. I will also pull the comment cards and make a phone call as well. Also, the encroachment issue, I did receive an email today at 2:05 p.m., and I'm going to personally visit the site tomorrow. And if there's any concerns that are present, I will work with the building official and the team to see if we have to stop the work, then we'll stop the work. But we want to make sure that everything is in order. So I will also update the board concerning that matter. Associated with the Barracuda Bay, we did have some conversations with the community on Tuesday, and there's some subsequent conversations that we are having. I'm having additional conversations tomorrow, and then some other conversations about making sure that we have robust programming for our young people, especially our aquatics programming, but we also are looking at other programmatic ideas to give our young people in our community some options. So that concludes my comments, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. Can we go to the next item, Madam Clerk?
Madam Chair, the next item is 11B, Resolution Number 46-25, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Riviera Beach, Palm Beach County, Florida, authorizing the execution of a broker of record for employee group insurance plans agreement between the City of Riviera Beach and RSC Insurance Brokerage, Inc. for benefit consultant services agreement obtained through a request for qualification number 1179-25-3 for an initial one-year period with an option to renew for 4 additional one-year renewal periods and providing an effective date. Madam Chair, we do have public comment cards on this item. The acceptance of public comment cards on this item is now closed.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Evans?
Madam Chair, members of the board, at this time, if I could have both the Director of Procurement and the Human Resources Director to make this presentation.
Yes, go ahead.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Honorable Mayor, and Board. Tennille DeCoste, Director of Human Resources. Just to give you some background before I turn it over to the Procurement Director, we requested an RFQ to select qualified firms to serve as our agent of record, meaning they'll be overseeing our health, dental, vision, all of our benefits that are very important to our employees. They also will be in charge of analyzing, reporting, compliance, problem solving, and so forth. So they would work with the city to look at our plan design and ensure we're giving top-notch benefits to the employees, because I've been to numerous mayor tours, I attended numerous tours, mayor tours, and numerous employees did complain that our insurance is not the richest it could be, or it's too costly. So we haven't had an insurance broker since June 2024, and now I'll turn it over to Ms. Ammons.
Good evening, Chair, Council, and the general public. For the record, my name is LaTanya Ammons, and I'm the Director of Procurement here at the City of Riviera Beach. As Mr. Coste said, the HR department engaged the procurement department for us to post a solicitation and seek services for a broker of record service. From a historical standpoint, this solicitation has been posted 4 times. So this is the 4th time that it's gone out, and we're here to ask the council to award the solicitation to RSC. The first solicitation, there was a protest, and the protest was regarding like the responsiveness, and the council stated that it had to go out for public solicitation. The second posting, I canceled that particular solicitation. I felt that after listening to the tapes, it just did not address some of the issues that the board had the first go around. The third time the solicitation was posted, we had 7 vendors to submit a proposal, and 5 were initially deemed non-responsive. We went to evaluate 2. At the evaluation meeting, we deemed 1 non-responsive, and then we did due diligence and determined that the last vendor was also deemed non-responsive, so we could not move forward. And so here we are with the 4th solicitation. There were 6 vendors who submitted proposals. We deemed all 5 non-responsive, and they were non-responsive due to a lack of either submitting the accurate form, or the forms were insufficient as far as the data is concerned. We went forward, we evaluated the 1, and here we're here today to ask for a recommendation to award the contract to RSC. Now, please note that after the agenda was posted, the procurement department received a protest for this RFQ. As such, we reviewed the protest and the merits of the protest, and with legal counsel, it was determined that the protest was not legitimate from the perspective that the code does not address protests for requests for qualifications. Our protest addressed ITBs and RFPs without a request for qualification. And I did respond and communicated that with the vendor who submitted the protest. So normally if there's a protest, we do have a stay of the procurement process until the protest has been settled. But because with legal counsel's approval and our determination, and as far as legal counsel is concerned, it was deemed that we could not consider the protest because it was an RFQ, and that is why we are here tonight versus staying the particular procurement. And so as stated, the procurement department is recommending award to the vendor RSC. I yield.
Could we do public comment now, please?
All right. We have 2 public comment cards. The first speaker will be Hans Autonet Esquire, and then followed by Mike Gellin.
Good evening, Madam Chair and members of the Commission, Mayor. Congratulations to the new members of this Commission. Mayor, congratulations to your promotion. In fact, I had the opportunity to watch the oath of office of Mayor Douglas Lawson, and I watched that oath because it's so important. It is the genesis of our democracy. And that oath, and every elected officials agree to make a commitment to uphold the law. They make a commitment to the residents that they will follow the law. Let me read a few words. I solemnly swear to uphold, support, and enforce the charter and ordinance of the City of Riviera Beach. That is the most important aspect of our democracy here in the City of Riviera Beach. Unfortunately, staff is directing this commission to violate its own law by approving this resolution. Let me be specific. My client, Gellin Benefits Group, I'm the attorney for Gellin Benefits Group, Hans Autonaut Law, filed a timely protest under your own code, which are passed out to each member of the commission. If a protest is filed, an automatic stay occurs. And let me read it. In the event of a timely protest, under the procurement code of this section, the director of purchasing shall not proceed further with the solicitation or award of the contract until all administrative remedies have been exhausted or until the city manager makes a written determination that the award of the contract without delay is necessary to protect the interests of the city. That didn't happen in this case. In fact, the response that the procurement staff indicated that this RFQ did not allow protest. That's not correct. And in fact, if you look at the RFQ document, it provides that if my client is aggrieved, he can file a protest. Your own rules, your own RFQ indicated that clearly. Again, the city code does not have one word that says RFQ is exempt from the protest rules. So respectfully, it's very difficult for me to disagree with your counsel, but you know, people make mistakes. And for me, my client has been fighting for the opportunity to represent the city in insurance brokerage business. But more importantly, let me explain to you. When we protest this matter the last time, when some of the members were here, staff decided to throw out all the bids. And one of the rationale they told this commission was that we didn't want to provide the award to Gellin Benefits Group because it would have been against competition, because they were the only one that were in compliance. Tonight, they're doing the same thing.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Respectfully,
Yes, thank you. for
defer
your
this
comments.
matter indefinitely.
Thank you, sir, for your comments.
Thank you, and table it. Thank you.
The next speaker is Mike Gellin.
Good evening, Mayor Lawson, Chair Lanier, Chair Pro Tem Miller Anderson, and Councilpersons Guyton, Spiritus, Davis Paneer, City Manager, Madam Clerk, and Madam Attorney. My name is Mike Gellin, founder and president of the Gellin Benefits Group. We're certified as a small business, a minority business. We're community focused, and we play by the rules. the procurement director talked about the RFPs and the RFQs that have gone out. And yes, this is the fourth time it went out. The first time it went out, we should have won that RFQ or RFP by disqualification. We were ranked second. I made a public records request, got the information. That RFP said the RFP should be no more than 50 pages. We were within 50 pages. The other company, RC, had over 170 pages. We filed a bid protest. Instead of awarding us the contract, disqualifying number one and moving to number two, the council decided to throw it out. The second RFP that was issued was canceled by the director. The third RFP that was issued, they disqualified us, saying that the fee was not included. We did include our fee. The fee is in the form of a commission, and we included our commission. But the procurement director didn't want to recognize that or acknowledge that, even though the current contract that's before you has commissions built in. So we were unnecessarily disqualified, but we didn't protest. We dealt with it. We moved on. So now you have the fourth RFP that was issued, and one of the reasons why they said they're disqualifying us, they said our executive summary was more than 2 pages. Our executive summary is not more than 2 pages. This is the section cover. That's the section cover. This is the actual question. It takes up a whole page. That's the actual question. And our response is 2 pages. That's our response. So why is it being disqualified? The reasons listed are, to pass it on, are not legitimate. And so that's why we filed a protest. Because you're not following your own rules, you're not following your own requirements. We're playing by the rules, and we're still being denied a fair opportunity. You know, we respond to RFPs all the time. And having a good year is winning 2 or 3 out of 10. We've never been rejected, never been thrown out. We do this on a regular basis. And having looked at some of the other ones that were disqualified, those were not thrown out either. There was a couple that were thrown out that should not have been thrown out. Finally, I did watch your CRA meeting on July 9th. And by majority vote, you voted to cancel the RFQ and issue an RFP for the $500 million marina because there was only one successful proposal. There were 4 that bid, there was 1 successful, 3 were thrown out because this city has a thing about throwing out RFPs instead of giving a fair opportunity. And one thing procurement should do is issue a cure deficiency. What some cities do, they say you have 48 hours to cure a deficiency.
Thank you so much for
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Madam Chair, that's the end of public comments.
Any questions from the board?
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Okay. I'm reading this sheet, and I assume it's section 16.5-241, point bid protest. Tanya, I guess you can answer this, and I see it says right to protest, and it says any actual or prospective bidder. Someone who's responding to an RFQ is a prospective bidder. I don't know how that's not one and the same thing.
Dr. Spiritus, Madam Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
I didn't know you were going to reference that section. I didn't pull it up. However, our procurement code says that you can protest ITNs and RFPs. It does not mention RFQs. And that is why we took the position that RFQs are not to be protested.
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
So I'm not taking a position for one company over the other. I'm just want this to be a level playing field and everyone to have an equal opportunity here. I just don't see the difference between an RFQ and an RFP. Usually they're one and the same. Most of the time they're done together, an RFQ and an RFP. But clearly an RFQ is part of an RFP process. It's part of the whole procedure. It may be done independently, but it's the same process and the same procedure. So I don't see why this person would be excluded from protesting. I just, like I said, both companies, I know, I've looked into both companies. You know, I've met with both companies in the past. I guess that was back in June. They're both, I believe they're both qualified to bid on this project. I just don't see, I still just don't see the difference.
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead, Mayor. Are you, wait a minute, you want to respond? No? Okay, go ahead. Mayor, then you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I hear my colleagues in regards to not seeing the difference. I mean, our code is just silent when it comes to the RFP and the RFQ. And because the code is silent in the RFQ, I think that's where our attorney, I agree with staff, in regards to not actually having implemented because of the code being silent. But as the discretion of the board, what is the time frame on the actual bid protest? How long would this actually take to be heard by the board? What is the actual outline from step today until whenever we actually hear it?
Yes, I would, if I remember off the top of my head, I have 5 days to respond. City manager has, 15, and then it comes back to the board. So we're looking at the next meeting if the board decides to take up chooses to take up the protest.
Okay, so by the next meeting, it'd be heard by the board?
Yes.
And how long have we been out without an agent of record?
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
Since June 2024.
June 2024?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Board, one of the things that I do want to make sure is we get this right at all times, and I do agree with staff in regards to the code being silent, but we have the discretion to hear the bid protest. So if we have the opportunity to hear it from this individual, I know we want to proceed with giving an agent of record to the city and moving forward, but we've been operating without one for over a year now. So an additional 30 days I don't think would be a discredit to the city to allow for us to hear the bid protest, to go through the steps necessary to understand what's the concerns of of the response, and then to see why they were disqualified. I have a bigger issue when it comes to some of the non-responsive bids and the solicitations that are being non-responsive, and then the business community and some of the issues that we have within the departments, not just procurement, but as a whole. The responsiveness and the outline of what we're actually putting out to the public. So we'll talk more about that when we get into that discussion, but I don't see an issue why we can't actually hear the bid protest board and allow for these individuals to present their case to the board and make a decision with the agent of record at the next meeting. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
Madam Chair, I guess I pretty much agree with Mayor Lawson, because my question was going to be, does the code prohibit a protest? And when you're saying silent, it does not specifically state that, correct? Attorney Nguyen?
That is correct. It's the pleasure of the board. Just keep in mind that because the code is silent, if you allow the protest of an RFQ in this instance, in the future, until the code is changed, we will be bringing any protest of RFQs to you as well. We will be allowing them. We won't just do it for this instance. It will be a pattern and a practice, and that's what we will do.
Let me ask this question, because I got a copy of it, this section 16.5, and at first statement, it doesn't say any RFP, RFQ, ITN, it just says, does that mean in general? The one that says any actual or prospective bidder, offerer, or contractor who is agreed in connection with the solicitation or award of a contract may protest to the city council.
Can you continue? I'm trying to pull it up.
Protesters shall seek resolution of their complaints initially with the director of purchasing and secondly with the city manager prior to protesting to the city council. It is section 16.5-241.
Ms. Ammons, do you have it up?
I'm pulling it up now. I think there's a sentence that's missing.
It's just that first sentence that's throwing me off because it's not mentioning anything.
And the second sentence, I believe, and I'm pulling it up straight from Unicode.
Second sentence says what, Ms. Ammons?
I'm pulling it up directly from Unicode.
If you go down, Madam Chair, in paragraph A, a protest with respect to an invitation for bids or RFP, request for proposals, shall be submitted in writing, and it goes on. That is the provision that we relied on that does not mention RFQs. However, as I stated, if it's the pleasure of the board, you will hear a protest in this matter.
Yeah, I don't like setting that kind of precedent. If we have an award, and I said this with the whole marina deal, you have a award, you have a company that you've awarded the bid to, and you had an opportunity to protest, but now you're saying that they can't protest. I'm kind of torn here because if the person has raised this protest before they even got to this meeting, and did they go through these steps, Ms. Ammons?
I'm sorry, Chair, I'm not sure if I understood the question.
The steps are saying that the protesters shall seek resolution of their complaints initially with the Director of Purchasing and secondly with the city manager. Did that happen?
I responded the first time, and because the way we interpreted the code, there was no protest, because you can't protest an RFQ. I sent the letter back, and that's why we went on and put it on the agenda to present the issue tonight. There is no from our position, there is no protest. So that's why we're here.
Yeah, I see.
Madam Chair?
I see.
Madam Chair?
Heard, then you, let me get others, and then I'll come back to you. Go ahead.
So, but this section says a protest with respect to the invitation for bid or request for proposal. So it's essentially saying when it comes to those, the way I'm reading it, is that when it comes to those types of bids, it shall be submitted in writing. So that means that if there's something else, then it don't have to be done that way. But those two ways have to be submitted in writing. It doesn't say anything about the others can't. So I think because it, as you said earlier, is silent to that, we should be able to do it. And I agree, if we do it, it'll be setting a precedent. And I mean, I don't see the harm in doing that. I mean, you want to make sure you get it right. And what the bigger problem is, I don't know how every single time we're having bids out, someone is getting disqualified. I mean, I really want to see what is the issue, because I don't understand how, like I said last week, for the CRA bid, how people who are bidding on million-dollar projects can't get paperwork right, and that just doesn't make sense to me. So for this particular situation, I would like to know what was the problem? What's going on here?
Councilman Miller Anderson, we have the vetting sheet that was attached,
So
and the vetting sheet shows, but I do want to point out that I was concerned as well. I'm always concerned. And so the Gelling Group was just awarded a contract with Lauderdale Lakes recently. They're soliciting for the same broker of record. That solicitation closed on May 2nd. Ours closed on May 19th. So my staff and I were like, okay, what's the difference? I have their complete solicitation package. They were deemed non-responsive on a number of pages and the certificate of insurance. So I looked at the certificate of insurance that they supplied to Lauderdale Lakes, and it's correct. The dates and everything, the one they submitted to us was not. So I can't answer why or why not, but I specifically, we can enter it for the record, but this is from Lauderdale Lakes, because they have been awarded business, as he said. So what's going on? I asked, certificate of insurance here looks great that they gave Lauderdale Lakes.
Madam Chair, I
And-
apologize.
Hold on a second.
And what I'm saying is
Point
that,
of order, Madam
Wait
Chair.
a minute. Hold on, sir.
and this is not a comparison, it's just,
Point of order, Madam Chair.
I know where you're going.
If we're going with the process of going to a bid protest, I would allow an opportunity before discrediting a firm as to what they did in another agency or what they did in this bid protest to be heard through the process and let this board decide before we start to discuss what they did in Lauderdale Lakes versus what they did in the process, because now the firm cannot actually respond. So I would actually prefer that we don't go down that rabbit hole and we allow for either the bid protest to go through or we decide on voting on this other firm.
Madam Chair?
Go ahead.
I agree with what you're saying, Mayor. But what I'm also saying is there has to be, I have to understand that a little better, because for any firm, even when we talked about what happened last week, it doesn't make sense. So we have to be able to look at that a little more. But I think based on what I'm seeing, it doesn't say that we can't do it. So I would be fine with entertaining the bid protest.
Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, I did have a follow-up.
I'm just going to go back to what I said before. I really don't see the difference. I think that the RFQ is part of an RFP process, and clearly this person or this bidder was a prospective bidder as far as the RFP process goes. If you want to talk about what was included in there and throwing someone out based on an insurance certificate, that's a different story, but as the mayor said, that would be determined through the protest process. But that's, one thing has nothing to do with the other.
Okay. Next.
Madam Chair?
Well, hold on one second.
Mhm.
Mayor, did you have something? Okay. Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I was going to say these comments from before, but I do think we need to also look at a policy. I believe the speaker did mention for bidders to cure insufficiencies within a certain time frame when there's no more than a certain number of deficiencies. We need to look at what policies are actually being done across the state and see where they can actually cure these insufficiencies. Because if we're starting to see a lot of non-responsive bidders across all of our bids, I want to identify a policy that can make it more inclusive of all the process we're doing. I do agree that I think we should at least hear the bid protest because it gives the discretion of the board to hear all the information. So, and I agree with my staff. The decision that was made, and I actually stand by procurement and legal, but I want to actually hear exactly what was done, allow for the speakers or for the bidders to come to the table and discuss their concerns, and then we as a board can make a final decision. We vote on our agent of record and we move on with the business of the city. I don't want to get into that discussion tonight when we don't have all the information. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair,
Yes, go ahead, sir.
I think I've heard at least 3 people saying that they don't mind entertaining the protest, and I think that we can move forward either to rescind the motion or amend the motion. So,
What do we have to do, Madam Attorney, in regards to the motion that we have on the table?
You would, if you want to hear a bid protest, you would have to rescind it because the motion was to award to the other company. So you have to rescind the motion first.
Okay.
And then you can put a new motion on the floor to entertain the bid protest.
Someone want to make the motion to rescind this.
Who made the motion, Ms. Hall?
Ms. Davis? Was that you, Ms. Davis? And I heard Ms. Miller Anderson give a second. Was that accurate?
I think it was me. You know what? I think I did both because I didn't hear.
Okay.
I thought I heard her say something, but I wasn't sure, and so I second two. I did both.
Okay, well,
I'll rescind it.
Okay.
And the second.
All right, so she's taking.
Madam Chair, I think I made the motion, and
Yeah.
my colleague Miller Anderson seconded the motion.
Oh, I don't know what you said. What did you say?
I made the motion.
Oh, he made the motion.
Can he repeat it, please, Madam Chair?
Not this time. It was.
Oh, that's what I thought, okay.
All right, so what we need to do here, we need to rescind the motion that's on the floor.
Make a motion that we rescind the motion to award the contract for
Well,
the
I'm
risk
sorry, Dr.
manager.
Spiritus. Can you just withdraw your motion?
Okay, I'll
He
withdraw
didn't
my...
make the motion? Nobody made? Nobody?
Madam Clerk, who made the motion and seconded?
I thought Ms. Davis did, but I did hear 2 women. I know it wasn't you, Chairperson, so it must have been Ms. Miller Anderson that did both.
So I rescind the motion.
Okay, she rescinds her second. Very good. Now, give me another motion to move forward, please.
I make the motion.
Please state what it is, Dr. Spiritus.
I make a motion that we rescind the motion to...
No. They've taken
when
back
we
their,
Right, now we're going to move forward with...
with the bid protest.
With the bid protest, right. So I make the motion that we move forward with the bid protest based on the rescission of the original award resolution.
Second.
Very good. Madam Clerk.
Councilperson Davis Penier,
Yes.
Councilperson Guyton,
Yes.
Chair Pro Tem Miller Anderson,
Yes.
Councilperson Spiritus,
Yes.
Chairperson Lanier.
No.
The item passes with Chairperson Lanier dissenting.
Next item.
The next item is item 11C, resolution number 55-25, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Riviera Beach, Palm Beach County, Florida, setting the maximum millage rate for the City of Riviera Beach for fiscal year 2025-2026 at a rate of 8.3500 mills, setting the date, time, and place for the first public hearing, and providing an effective date. Madam Chair, we do not have any public comment cards on this item. The acceptance of cards is now closed.
So moved.
Second. Mr. Evans?
Madam Chair, members of the board, if I could have the CFO, Mr. Randy Sherman, to make this presentation.
Good evening, everyone. Each July, the city is required to adopt a resolution establishing the maximum millage rate and setting our first public hearing. This resolution is due to the county by the end of the month. The resolution you have in front of you recommends that the maximum millage rate be set at 8.35. That is the same millage rate that we have had for the last 3 fiscal years. And this resolution also sets the first public hearing date for Wednesday, September 3rd, 2025. Now keep in mind, again, you're setting the maximum millage rate. After this vote tonight, the millage rate cannot go up, but it can go down during the budget process. I'd also point out that the September 3rd date is your regular scheduled first meeting in the month of September. If you would prefer to have that be a separate meeting to discuss the budget for the public hearing, September 4th is available. The city is not allowed to have its first budget hearing the same night as the school district or the county, but September 4th, Thursday, is available.
So, council, what would you prefer, to have it on the September 3rd regular agenda, or to have a special meeting for it? It is at the pleasure of the board. What do you like? Board?
It doesn't matter, except the first meeting. Yes.
All right, very good. We'll keep it on the regular agenda. Madam Clerk?
Councilperson Davis Panier,
Yes.
Councilperson Guyton,
Yes.
Chair Pro Tem Miller Anderson,
Yes.
Councilperson Spiritus,
Yes.
Chairperson Lanier, unanimous vote.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item.
The next item is item 11D, adoption of resolution number 72-25, establishing a customer, resident, business, and visitor bill of rights.
We're looking for a motion on this? We have a motion for this item. Do we have a motion for item 11D? Yes? Anybody?
One second.
Are you all looking to see, or you're saying no?
One second.
Can you read it again for me?
Adoption of resolution number 72-25, establishing a customer, resident, business, and visitor bill of rights.
So moved.
Second. All right, Mr. Evans?
Madam Chair, members of the board, this item is before you this evening seeking City Council authorization and approval of Resolution 7225. This particular resolution looks to address customer service and customer responsiveness, as well as accountability and transparency throughout the organization. Attached, you will see that the resolution gets into some principal areas of expectations that include courtesy and respect, responsiveness, accountability, transparency, customer-centric service, and civic engagement. Also in the resolution, it prescribes what is the Customer Bill of Rights. The intent behind the adoption of this document is to reframe and reestablish the relationship with the public and the public that we serve, to look to provide more superior services within the department. It also provides for responsibility as it relates to answering correspondence in a timely fashion, making sure facilities are up and operational at the appropriate time, as well as making sure that staff is dressed appropriately to ensure that we put the best representation for the city of Riviera Beach forward. We have had 2 training sessions to this particular document with the, I would say, the frontline staff, those that are customer front-facing, as well as the executive management team associated with this. After adopted, if adopted by the City Council, this will be placed at all areas where the public convenes, instructing the public as it relates to what their rights are as a member of this community or a visitor of this community, and what the expectation of services that they shall receive from staff. Also, it will result in all the members of the executive management team signing the document and understanding what the expectations are This is something that not many cities have done, but in some research, this is something that I've seen some successful cities move forward with. So at this time, staff recommends approval of Resolution 7225.
All right, public comment cards?
Madam Chair, we did not have any public comment cards. The acceptance of cards is closed.
Any questions or comments from the board?
Madam Chair?
Go ahead. Well,
I think we said
oh, it was two, I only heard you, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Madam Chair,
Okay, one
I've
minute.
seen civility codes in other municipalities. They call it civility codes in many municipalities. And it just really does a lot for the staff and the community. And I strongly urge the city to look very seriously at this.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And in the research, I believe Mr. Evans, we talked about in the agenda review and also implementing this code based on the listening tours and the discussions that we've had with the community and with the employees. This was a need. It was necessary for the morale status of employee support and also the upbringing and image of the city to represent what this community is going to do. Customer service is going to be vital, and this is going to be the #1 priority. So as part of the mayor's report, this is going to be something that we roll out when we launch our 100-day report from the listening tours that we've done. So I thank staff for actually bringing this to the table and presenting this, because this is just one of the steps that we're taking to implement for the city. Thank you, Madam Chair.
All right, any other questions or comments?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
One of the things that I would like to get clarified is wait, let me back up. We have a problem in our city. People disrespecting each other. This problem escalated to a point where one of the city manager's employees in front of him disrespected me. One thing I don't tolerate is disrespect. I have an item on the agenda that's going to be discussed later, so I go into detail about that particular incident at that time. But what I want to know about this item is, what is the enforcement arm?
Madam Chair, if I may.
Go ahead.
The enforcement arm is progressive discipline that's provided for, as if there is a violation of any of the tenets that are called out in the resolution.
The problem I have, and I've had the benefit of meeting with staff, going to agenda reviews, and some staff members just sharing information with me. And because I've witnessed it myself, the problem I have is that the discipline is not being issued fairly. The city manager allows some people to do what they want, and others, he moved quickly to either discipline or terminate. I have a problem with that, Mr. Manager. And my concern is this being implemented in a fair manner. And I'm not sure if you can actually do that, to be honest. I'm not talking from hearsay, I'm talking from personal experience. And that concerns me. So I wanted to know if there was somehow this can be implemented by an independent party that's not really associated with the city, but have the task of reviewing the complaints and recommending disciplinary action. Because I don't trust you to be fair in this process. I'm gonna just put it out there. And one thing I've always been is respectful and considerate to the staff. Have I ever been disrespectful that you know of, Mr. Evans, to your staff and agenda reviews or other situations? That's a question, Mr. Evans.
Madam Chair, if I may, I would prefer not to answer that question.
Okay. See, the level of disrespect just never stops. And he has gotten to the point where he feels that he has 3 votes up here, and you all would validate his disrespect.
Mr. Guyton, for this particular item, I know you have your item that you have listed. Do you want, can we kind of put that under that?
I've made my suggestion about having an independent party do the reviews.
For this, the Bill of Rights?
Yes.
Okay.
Madam Chair,
Go ahead.
I'm just gonna, I'll just say this. I see a lot of this is regarding staff and things of that nature. But, you know, what do we have in place for those that are in the higher positions, the directors, the managers, assistant managers? Because it's always seemed like corrective measures for staff or for people that are not holding the higher positions. My concern is that we also need to be able to address, you know, those issues and concerns. And while I appreciate the mayor's, like the staff tour and everything, I will say that I don't believe that staff got a fair chance, because at a lot of meetings, directors, the management was there and things of that nature. And I was just waiting for an opportunity to bring this type of thing up. So while we may have a Bill of Rights for the customers and things of that nature for the manager to carry out different, I guess, consequences, as I think I just heard him say, you know, I just feel that this has to go across the board. Like who's doing the same type of evaluating and disciplining of those that are holding these higher positions.
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
Every member of the team, myself included, would be required to adhere to what is provided for in the Bill of Rights, no different than any other rule or regulation or policies and procedures. So it's a situation where we have had the conversation with the executive team to outline what the expectations were with regards to this Bill of Rights, as well as those frontline staff, and there's continuous training that will be provided to that. But we all would have to adhere to what is provided for in this document.
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
To Attorney Nguyen, would this be better as an ordinance rather than as a resolution, as far as enforcement goes?
I don't know how you would enforce it. I mean, we haven't discussed that. A resolution, you're right, an ordinance has enforcement authority, but I don't know what that would be in this instance. And I don't know, I mean, perhaps it's a better question. I hate to put her on the spot, but it's kind of an HR issue. I don't know if Ms. DeCoste has seen this sort of policy, if you will, right, resolution in an ordinance or not, or how it's done elsewhere. I don't know.
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
With respect to HR protocols and procedures, those are usually adopted by virtue of a resolution because it allows for flexibility as things change for you to easily modify. Right now, we are going through the HR code that is going to be coming before the board for consideration for modifications, but that code dates back to the 50s, and it is a pretty painstaking process to update that. So most entities have adopted any policies and procedures by virtue of a resolution. And Madam Chair, if I may, the intent behind this particular resolution was really to address some of the items and some of the concerns and really set forth a new pathway to ensure that we are providing customer-centric service, that we're looking at items through the prism of the customer and looking to resolve issues and pushing the authority down to the employees that are closest to the problem to resolve the problem. You know, not having a situation where you have to go through a bureaucratic process to resolve an issue, that you empower and embolden the employees to make the decision that are closest to the situation, and making sure that we're very intentional. And you heard today during one of your citizen comments that there was a situation where somebody was waiting a month for a phone call back, and those are the types of things that we want to make sure that we send clear expectation as to. We need to be timely in our correspondence. We need to look to provide better services across the board. And this is what that document is intended to do. It's not really intended to be a punitive measure. It's intended to set the expectation to move forward, to everybody knows what customer service is going to be in the city of Riviera Beach, and we are going to adopt more of a private sector model versus a public sector model.
Madam Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say what it basically is saying here is that it's about enforcing or ensuring that there's professionalism, courtesy, accountability, transparency, stakeholder engagement, responsiveness, collaboration, all of the things that are just simple, great practices within any organization when you're working with the public. And then it just goes more in detail about, you know, making sure that everyone has the same philosophy in terms of if there's a pothole, if the police is passing by a pothole, report it. I mean, you don't have to work in public works in order to report a pothole, just kind of like everybody working as a team. Progressive discipline is already there. It's still going to be there. So that doesn't have to be tied in with this necessarily. This is just saying, hey, there's a culture shift in terms of customer service, which we've had many complaints. This is nothing new. We've had this. People who say, well, I've called this department and nobody's answering the phone. Or I've called this place and nobody calls me back. Those are just simple customer service skills that should just be normal, but sometimes they're not. So having something in place is not something that is going to now say, oh, well, you did not call them back, now I want to write you up. Well, I mean, you probably were going to get written up anyway, whether this document was there anyway. So I don't think it has to be tied in to be a gotcha moment. It is just something saying, hey, this is what we're all going to agree to do to make sure that our agency is one of the best, especially in terms of customer service. So I think they're separate and apart, because the progressive discipline should already be there. I think what Mr. Guyton was speaking about, the random selection, I mean, that probably happens everywhere, but what I'm saying is that doesn't tie in with this document. I think for the purposes of this item here, it's do we want to adopt this or not?
Madam Chair. Thank you, and I agree with Vice Chair Pro Tem. The process of this Bill of Rights is what people can expect when doing business in our city, and what is our commitment to them. Some of the concerns that I've heard from Councilwoman Davis-Panier and Councilman Guyton can be addressed as well, but I think we have an item on the agenda that we can talk about some of the progressive discipline, some of the engagement, professionalism. I heard a lot of the lack of professionalism, lack of accountability when we were doing our listening tour, and I thought that the board was, or the staff was very transparent, regardless of there being department heads in the room or not. But what I do feel like is we have to make a commitment, and we're setting a Bill of Rights similar to a Chick-fil-A employee saying it's a pleasure serving you. It's something that we as a city have to just hold accountable for a Bill of Rights. Some of the concerns that I believe I've heard, we're going to address and hopefully continue to address as we talk about progressive discipline and the engagement of the staff and what's going to be the next steps and what we're seeing. But I think this Bill of Rights is just a narrative that we're painting so that people can understand what to expect when they're doing business in the city of Riviera Beach, and not just giving direction as to what happens if they don't accomplish these steps. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, very good. Let's, Madam Clerk.
Councilperson Davis-Panier.
Yes.
Councilperson Guyton.
Nope.
Chair Pro Tem Miller Anderson,
Yes.
Councilperson Spiritus,
Yes.
Chairperson Lanier.
Yes.
The item passes with Councilperson Guyton dissenting.
Our next item, 11C, 11E.
The next item is 11E, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Riviera Beach, Palm Beach County, Florida, amending the structure and appointment process of the Riviera Beach Education Advisory Committee to enhance clarity and transparency. Madam Chair, we don't have any comment cards on this item. The acceptance of cards is closed.
Mr. Evans?
Madam Chair and members of the board, at this time, if I can have Assistant to the City Manager, Dr. Hayes, to make this presentation.
So moved.
Second. Good evening, Chair, councilpersons, Mayor, City Manager, and everyone in their respective places. I am Dr. LaShonda Hayes, the Assistant to the City Manager. The resolution before you tonight pertains to an update of the Riviera Beach Education Advisory Committee appointments. It provides clarity. When the resolution was previously adopted, it outlined citywide and district at-large appointments, which caused some confusion. The language has been removed, and the board appointments have been updated. Are there any questions?
Any questions? I think that Mr. Spiritus, you had questions before, but she's fixed it.
She's fixed it, right.
All right, very good. Madam Clerk?
Councilperson Davis Penier. Councilperson Guyton.
Yes.
Chair Pro Tem Miller Anderson.
Yes.
Councilperson Spiritus.
Yes.
Chairperson Lawson. I'm sorry. I apologize. Chairperson Lanier. Getting late.
I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean it like that. I really did. Thank you.
I didn't get your vote, Chair Lanier.
Yes.
Yes, okay. That item passes with Councilperson Davis Penier out.
Next item.
The next item is item 11F, resolution number 73-25, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Riviera Beach, Florida, establishing the Riviera Beach Youth Council.
Mr. Evans?
Madam Chair, at this particular point, I'll turn the presentation over to Mayor Lawson and Councilperson Miller Anderson to make this presentation, as this is a item that they've worked on.
Thank you,
Councilman
Madam Chair.
Anderson?
Yes. Mayor Lawson and I have been working on presenting the Youth Council. This is something that I have been talking about for years, I think. We talked a lot about it during COVID time and where we were going to be able to bring this to fruition. Mayor Lawson, as soon as he became mayor, he was ready to get it going, and so that is how it got brought back to the forefront at this time. So Mayor Lawson has 2 interns that were working in his office, along with my legislative assistant, Akuria Wester. This was one of the things that they were tasked to work on, and so Ms. Akuria Wester will be doing the presentation, and I did tell her to keep it under 5 minutes so you don't scare her off for her first presentation.
No, I wouldn't do that.
She's gonna just give like a brief overview of it, of what the program is and some of the things that we're expecting to do. And we're looking for the board's approval, and we'll take your questions afterwards.
Chairperson Lanier, while we're waiting, can we have a motion and second on this item?
Second.
So,
Second. So moved. Second.
Okay, thank you.
We're trying to wait to your, is that your PowerPoint?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's see.
Madam Chair, I can start while they're trying to pull it up.
Okay, go ahead.
Good evening, Honorable Board, Mayor, Chairperson, Council members, and everyone in their respective places. I would like to start by introducing myself. I am Akuria Wester, and I'm honored to serve as the legislative aide to the amazing Riviera Beach Council Vice Chair Kashama Miller Anderson. As you know, since elected in office in 2016, youth services, education, recreation, among other things, have been top priorities of Councilperson Miller Anderson. Although her leadership with the partner of the mayor's office, there has been several variations of the Youth Council. However, tonight we are excited to present to you a formal version of the Riviera Beach Student Council. So, both the Florida League of Cities and the National League of Cities have established youth councils. What is a youth council? It's a municipal urban group that is created to typically compose of high school students engaged in their community government and representing youth voices within the community.
Ms. Wester, is that PowerPoint slide where you need to be? You don't have a clicker, right?
Is
Do
this
you?
the best one?
You have it? Okay. You want Dr. Hayes to do it, or you're gonna do it?
I could do it.
Okay. Let me do it.
Okay, why create a youth student council? So, according to the U.S. Census Bureau American Community Survey estimate, about 8,317 individuals in the city of Riviera Beach are under the age of 18. So that's about 1/4 of the Riviera Beach community. Youth Council promotes regular and active civic engagements among people in our community, as well as educating the youth about the government and civics that are going on in our community, as well as giving them a front row seat of how to do so. Our mission is to empower the next generation of change agents, through mentorship, service, leadership training, civic engagement, and tragic communication. Our mission is to amplify youth voices and equip them to lead transformative change, build stronger communities, and shaping a better future for all. Our vision for our youth is to cultivate a city where every young person is empowered, heard, equipped to lead, driving change, and building a united, thriving community for generations to come. So, how students will be selected. The Youth Student Council will be selected by applications and interviews. They will consist of students who live in the city of Riviera Beach, so they have to be residents. They can go to any school. It doesn't have to be in the city of Riviera Beach, but it has to be homeschool, public school, private school, or charter school. And they have to they can't turn 19 before September 1st. The application is to help identify the students' interests and also their strengths. So some benefits for the community, also the youth and elected officials and staff. So starting with the youth, their voices are heard in the local government. They will understand the value of the public service. Their service is a bonus activity for the college and scholarship applications. So with them being a part of the Youth Council, this will give them access to having letters of recommendation from people in the city, employees, as well as members on the council. And then community benefits would be being able to connect to their community and also connecting the youth with people in people on the city board as well as city members as well, just so they can learn what to do and how the government works. So in this picture, this is an event where kids came together to talk about change they would like to see in their community, whether that be transportation, activities they would like to have, or even city beautification. Because yes, kids do care about how their community look. So the Youth Council will be participating in activities like this and hopefully being able to bring it to the board as well so they could have a voice to be heard and so that they can hear their concerns as well. So here are a list of activities and events. We are looking to possibly have some of these activities. Some additional ones would be the Palm Beach League of Cities, the meetings that they have, the Florida League of Cities Conference, and as well as the Palm Beach County Day, which is held in Tallahassee. Again, that's if the budget approves. Okay, and here are some next steps. So in front of you, you should have the resolution. And so we're making sure that that gets approved. Also the application process and selection process. We're in the process of drafting the application. And then we're looking to start in September to officially have the youth council up and running, as well as having the students selected as well. And this is just a quick overview. So why Youth Council makes up 1/4 of our community. The mission is to give the youth of tomorrow proper training today to thrive, grow, and go to with our community tomorrow. Our voice is giving them a voice to impact the community with positive change. Quick benefits will be strengthening the youth to city connections and adding fresh ideas to the council discussions. Activities, of course, we're waiting for approval with those as well. And our next steps is to let's provide our city today so we can love what we have tomorrow. It is staff's recommendation to approve resolution number 7325, formally establishing the City of Riviera Beach's Youth Council. Thank you for your time.
Excellent presentation.
Madam Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
Excellent job. She was so
Excellent.
nervous.
What?
She was
I
so
can't tell.
nervous.
I couldn't even
No,
tell.
I'm talking about leading up to this.
Okay.
She did a great job.
Excellent
And,
job.
and so with that, Mayor, I'm definitely going to let you jump in, for sure, because I appreciate you bringing this back. He was going to take it from me is what he was going to do, right? And so I said, you know what, let's do this together. But thank you for bringing it back, I appreciate it. The application, we are trying to get the applications out for next week, and then have it open for about a month, because we want to be able to capture the students when they get back to school and do some advertising at the school as well. Then we'll do a selection, and so based on what we're looking at doing, it'll be basically up to 13 students that will possibly participate. We will try to keep it at an odd number, so to keep it where council people can appoint 1 or 2 people, depending on if we do the 7 or 13, and then the mayor would be able to appoint 2 or 3. All of those things will be outlined in the bylaws and the application, which we would bring back. We'll make sure that you all see that before we put it out. Like I said, the tentative date was to put it out next week, but we'll make sure that it gets back out to you all before then. And if we have to modify the dates, obviously we will. We still have time to be able to make sure that we get started in September, where we'll bring it on the agenda. We're looking like maybe September 17th to be able to bring the applicants back to you all, so that you can see each person on the dais will be able to select someone to be on there. And so we'll have more information regarding that for you to make that decision. And Mr. Mayor?
Thank you, Pro Temp. And Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Thank you. And first off, I appreciate you for allowing us to work together on this. Didn't want to steal it. I wanted to bring it to our city. I wanted to make sure that we had an opportunity to establish this for the young people, because that's how we can establish growth in regards to governance in the city, creating our next set of leaders and teaching them about government here at this age. Ms. Weston, I want to thank you. Excellent presentation and great work. She worked with Kaylin Hansen and Acacia Higgins, and they did a phenomenal job doing the research, doing the due diligence, and preparing for this actual presentation to bring the Youth Council, because they were excited to be engaged. Our youth are going to be the voting base of the next in the next 3, 5, 10 years and currently voting. So these individuals, we want to make sure that they know about government, they want to be involved, and they're the ones that's going to be able to sit at these chairs and sit across this room to serve and support the community. As Ms. Western said, the kids do want to be involved. They want to see what the projects looks like. They want to see what our parks are going to look like. So as we're establishing the parks and rebuilding the parks with our bond of $55 million, we want to hear from our youth council. We want them to be involved in the decision making of what the parks are going to actually look like. So again, Ms. Weston, amazing job, phenomenal. You come from good stock. I see Mom back there, and I think you've done an excellent job with this. And Kaylin Hansen, I have to commend him as well because he was very adamant and excited to work with you, and Ms. Acacia Higgins. So I think this youth council is in good hands, and thank you, Ms. Miller Anderson, for allowing us to partner on this. I'm excited to bring it to the board.
Any questions about the youth council? You know, you have a ready pool of students who receive the Riviera Beach scholarships every year.
It's 9th through 12th grade, ages 14 through 18. So the ones that usually get the scholarship already in college.
Oh, I see.
So, but we, you know, we have plenty of kids here that are going to be amazing. So we shouldn't have an issue with getting kids.
Okay, very good. Any other questions in regards to this item? Madam Clerk?
Councilperson Davis Panier,
Yes.
Councilperson Guyton,
Yes.
Chair Pro Tem Miller Anderson,
Yes.
Councilperson Spiritus,
Yes.
Chairperson Lanier.
Yes.
That's a unanimous vote.
Next item.
Madam Chair, we are on.
Thank you, young lady.
Thank you.
Very good job. I'm sorry, Madam Clerk.
I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
We're on the next item, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, so we are on item 11G, resolution number 7525, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Riviera Beach, Florida, authorizing the award of $28,300 to Raw Academic Services, Inc. for the implementation of the READ program at Wells Recreation Center and Dan Callaway Recreation Complex from July 21st, 2025 through August 1st, 2025, providing for continuity of academic, social, emotional services for youth during summer camp, providing an effective date. Madam Chair, we have one comment card on this item. The acceptance of comment cards is closed.
So moved.
Second. Mr. Evans?
Madam Chair, if I may have the Assistant Director of Procurement as well as the Assistant to the City Manager to make this presentation.
Go ahead.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and members of the City Council. My name is Stacy Garzette. I'm the Assistant Procurement Director. I'm here on behalf of the Procurement Department to present to you the recommendation for award for RFP 1192-25-3, which solicited academic and social-emotional services for youth participating in the city's summer program. A bit of background, the City Manager's Office engaged the Procurement Department to secure professional services essential to the continued success of the READ program, a program designed and implemented to improve student performance and holistic well-being within the city's summer program. Academic instruction has been a core component of the city's summer program, incorporating literacy activities, enrichment workshops, and student-focused learning. The purpose of this contract is to maintain continuity of those services and ensure that the program concludes with strong academic and social-emotional support for our youth. The resolution before you is specifically for the remaining 2 weeks of the city's summer program, as the first 5 weeks were supported by executed contracts with Alpha Star Academic Enrichment, Inc. and Raw Academic Services, Inc. under the City Manager's signature authority. In accordance with Chapter 16.5 of the City of Riviera Beach Code of Ordinances, the Procurement Department issued a request for proposals on June 6, 2025. The solicitation was advertised on the city's website and the BidNet Direct and broadcast to 1,228 vendors. The deadline for submission was June 23, 2025. We received 4 responses. After review, 1 response was deemed responsive to the RFP requirements. 3 responses were deemed non-responsive for failure to meet mandatory criteria. An evaluation committee was held on July 8th, 2025 to review and score the responsive proposal based on experience, program design, and approach, key personnel, and price proposal. The RFP was issued as a single award solicitation, and based on the evaluation committee scoring, Raw Academic Services, located here in Riviera Beach, was determined to be the most qualified firm. The procurement department concurs with the evaluation committee's recommendation. Therefore, staff respectfully recommends the City Council approve the award of the contract for RFP 1192-25-3 to Raw Academic Services, Inc. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Do we have any public comment cards?
Yes, Madam Chair, Dosha Newbold.
I'm curious about the funding. I want to know exactly what it's for, because if this was a part of the summer program, this should have already been included in what was necessary for the summer program. And it says a reading program. So you're going to have a 10-day reading program? I mean, because I don't think you could teach nobody to read in 10 days. I can be mistaken. And if you want to get them from, let's say, third grade level to fourth grade level, it's going to take more than 10 days. Exactly what are you going to use the money for? Because if it's a part of the last 2 weeks of the summer program or 2 weeks of the summer program, when you created the summer program, whatever was necessary apparently was submitted. So how we come up with needing $28,000 more for something for 2 weeks? I can't imagine in my wildest dream spending $28,000 for 2 weeks of anything in a summer program. That includes food, that includes the workers. I mean, to me, this is a bit far-fetched to even be asking for $28,000 more, because if I was going to do a program, I would base it on the amount of people that were there or anticipated to be in the program, what it would take to run the program for the time frame of the program, and not come in 2 weeks and ask the city to give you $28,000. This is a little far-fetched for me, and I'm not understanding. It's just not making sense. And I need this to make sense for me, because we got so many other things that we need to take care of, especially the water. I'm getting back to that. We don't need a $20,000 fire department. We need the water corrected. But back to what we're talking about. I can't fathom $28,000 for nothing in a summer program. I need to know how many kids is in the program. I mean, what exactly, specifically, you're going to use $28,000 in 10 days? I mean, are they supposed to answer the question, or what we doing here?
No, you can't.
Okay, I just can make my comments and
Yes,
then.
ma'am.
Okay, Lanier, I got you, but I'm trying to figure this out, and I listened carefully to your presentation, but that's a bit, for 10 days, what you gonna do for 10 days that costs $28,000? You could take 3 trips, take care of 50 kids, feed them all, and we still won't be at $28,000. You definitely can't teach them to read in 10 days or improve their reading skills.
Madam Chair, that's the end of public comment.
All right, very good. Any questions from the board?
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
I just want to restate the motion, or restate the concerns about possibly implementing a policy to cure within 48 hours if a certain number of deficiencies. If we can research that policy, because we had 4 responsive bidders, again, 3 were deemed non-responsive, and 1 was deemed responsive. Mr. Evans, how much money did we allocate for the READ program?
Madam Chair, if I may?
Yes, go ahead.
$250,000.
And when was that allocated?
Excuse me?
When was that allocated?
That was part of the fiscal year 2025 budget in October.
While I tend to not ever agree with Ms. Newbold, I do agree with her on this time about what actually happened, just this one time, about the fact that these dollars are now currently being allocated at the end of summer. This is a read program and a program for reading, and we have the lowest reading scores in Palm Beach County, especially at West Riv. And it's ridiculous right now where we need support. These dollars have to get into the community. So even though we only had 3 responsive bidders, well, I'm sorry, 4 responding bidders, but 3 were deemed non-responsive, this money's just been sitting there, and it's not getting back to the people and to the community that's needed. Ms. Newbold mentioned that we had a great fireworks show. We had a great 4th of July. I've given Ms. Franks kudos and accolades on that amazing production. But when we're talking about the money that needs to go back into the kids, we need to put that same effort and energy. So I need the entire staff to understand that this has to get out to the community. I can't say that we put, $60,000 into a fireworks show for a couple minutes of great exposure and not say that this $28,000 is not vital for these kids. $250,000 is just sitting there right now, and we have not allocated it back to the programs that's needed. The program that is allocated at the table, I've seen the work that they've done. I absolutely support this project. Raw Academics has done a phenomenal job, and I think that we could even allocate more if necessary, but making sure that we're prepared for either additional programs, after-school programs. We have to get our reading scores up, and programs like theirs, the O'Briens have done a phenomenal job, and they're from this community, so I support them tremendously. But I want to see the rest of the money get allocated, because just rolling it over to next year doesn't help our kids right now. We have failing schools. We have failing kids in our community, and they're dropping out. They're struggling over the summer, and none of that money went back into the community. So I'm very disappointed that we're finally getting 10% of it out, which is not really acceptable when we've had it allocated for almost a year. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
Chair?
Dr. Spiritus, and then Miller Anderson.
No, that was.
Go ahead, Dr.
Mr. Evans, is this 28,000 being deducted from the 250?
Madam Chair, if I may?
Yes, go ahead.
So we have been doing summer instruction. We've spent about $60,000 thus far. This is to conclude the final 2 weeks of what is the summer programming. So we have spent money associated with the READ program. When the first solicitation went out, there was a solicitation, and the 3 companies that responded were considered non-responsive and responsible. So then I took the 2 companies that responded, and I provided, okay, there's, for instance, I think it was a total of 8 weeks or what have you. So we gave one company a couple of weeks, another company in a couple of weeks. It bought us about 4 to 5 weeks worth of time to go through another solicitation process to be able to finish out the last 2 weeks, because the students are getting about 4 hours of academic instruction every day at both our summer camp facilities. So this was to ensure that there was no gap for the final 2 weeks of the summer, and so that's why this item is before you. And so this is a continuation of a program that we've started, and it has been both Raw Academics and Alpha Star that have been the 2 vendors that have assisted us during the summer. And remember, it was the board that instructed us to go back, have additional conversations with the Education Advisory Committee to look at what was the best ways to deploy this money into the communities. And this was the quickest way to get the money back out into the community for the purposes of addressing some academic challenges our students have.
Madam Chair, follow-up?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so this is part of the $250,000. As a former school teacher, I'm glad to see that we are including academics as part of the summer program. And I can tell you that in 10 days, believe it or not, you can make a great impact on someone's ability to read, depending on what level they're at. And I think this is a great use of the funding. Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead. You got anything?
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. Follow-up. So, Mr. Evans, you said that we've spent $60,000 of the 250.
Madam Chair, if I may?
Yes, go ahead.
We have spent, out of the 250 that was allocated thus far, we've spent $60,000, not inclusive of the $28,000 ask. That's before you this evening.
Okay. I'm still concerned, Madam Chair, because now we've spent about 24% of the total money that was allocated. Are we planning on using this throughout the school year? What are plans to get the money out? How quickly can we get the remaining dollars? Because 28,000 still doesn't address the fact that we budgeted 250, that we have to help these children. I would need to be aggressive with this. So what is our plan to move forward, Mr. Evans?
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
The original solicitation was anticipated for us to do a lot more, but when that came back non-responsive, we had to find another solution. But yes, we are going to look to get some additional monies out. And any monies that are not expended would be monies that we would look to roll over, but we do want to continue to utilize the funding that is provided for. And so we've already had just preliminary discussions with the Education Advisory Committee, so there is some opportunities for us to have some 1099 employees that can assist in getting out to the respective daycares and out in the community to help provide academic tutoring services. So once the Education Advisory meeting happens, I think it's next Thursday,
It's the second Thursday of every month.
we'll have another go at what we're going to do to get the money out in the community, but we are going to get it more out there.
That last meeting, we talked about in the Education Committee, we talked about, and trust me, this money will be spent. There is going to be a ACT, SAT boot camp every weekend. There's going to be a push. The committee decided that, reaching children in the kindergarten is just not working still. We're going to have to look at preschool kids because of the fact that kids get to school at 5 years old and they don't know colors, they don't know numbers. So we have to go back further than just kindergarten. So we're just looking at the daycares to be able to, because they're basically small businesses in the city, looking at these daycares to partner with some academics to be able to build some programs around preschool. With that program, with the ACT, SAT program, in addition to our after-school tutoring, the money will be spent and we'll be asking for more.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
the 10 o'clock hour is approaching. Would you consider a motion to
Call the
extend?
question? Let's call the question.
For extending?
No, for
Oh,
this.
for this item?
Yes.
Councilperson Davis Penier?
Yes.
Councilperson Guyton?
Yes.
Chair Pro Tem Miller Anderson?
Yes.
Councilperson Spiritus?
Yes.
Chairperson Lanier?
Yes.
Unanimous vote.
Thank you. Thank you for your presentation. We're gonna have to, we have one more item on the agenda. We're gonna have to extend the meeting. I'll give 15 minutes for an extension. And make a motion to extend the meeting for 15 minutes, please.
So move.
Second. Madam Clerk?
Councilperson Davis Penier? Councilperson Guyton?
Yes.
Chair Pro Tem Miller Anderson?
No.
Councilperson Spiritus?
Yes.
Chairperson Lanier?
No.
The item passes with Chairperson Lanier and Chair Pro Tem Miller Anderson dissenting.
The item is city manager's performance, and I think that Commissioner Guyton is the one that put that on the agenda. Commissioner Guyton, you want to give us some background about this item?
Yes, I'll be very quick, Madam
Yes,
Chair.
sir.
Mr. Evans decided in his infinite wisdom that he was going to allow one of his employees to raise their voice at me while he sat there. Give you the quick nutshell version of it. I'm leaving town for one day. I'm having some travel paperwork done. This was the last minute trip up to the up to Orlando. So Mr. Sherman called me to talk about a few items. One of the items was that normally employees drive to, if it's 2 hours or 3 hours, the employees leave early that morning and then drive back. I'm not doing that. So we got past that, and that's another thing. We need to bring that travel policy back here to discuss, because that employees shouldn't have to get up and drive 2 to 3 hours and then be in class all day and drive back. The other thing was, I think it was the per diem. No, it was mileage, and they reminded me that I get the car allowance fine. And this was the last minute trip. this is where it went sideways with the per diem, which was only for one day. It wasn't much. So I'm told that we need that it's 10 days to have a check cut or something. It was only for one day. The amount of the check I spend more on cigars. For those who know me, they know what kind of cigars I smoke. It wasn't about that. But Mr. Sherman, before the conversations and raised his voice, said, I'm not doing that. So I'm like, okay, I talked to the city manager because I didn't like the tone of your voice. It wasn't about the amount. And I didn't tell Mr. Sherman that. I'm saying in my mind. So I go to Mr. Sherman, I go to Mr. Evans. Mr. Evans sitting there, Mr. Sherman is in there, and Lydia, I think it was, in there. So I'm explaining to Mr. Evans what transpired and how Randy kind of snapped. And Randy chimes in over me, raising his voice at me while Mr. Evans sitting there. And I looked at Mr. Evans, I'm saying, you see your employee disrespecting me, I wasn't even talking to Mr. Sherman. So I told Mr. Evans these words. The charter says that city council people can discuss with the city manager matters of business and notify the city manager of problems. Mr. Evans, I said, Mr. Evans, you got a problem. Mr. Sherman has been reported, I know, at least 3 times to me prior to this incident. So he knew that Mr. Sherman was a problem. And when he disrespected me, I said that was the bar too far. I told Mr. Evans, the other thing that the interference charter says is that you can make recommendations and suggestions. I recommended to Mr. Evans that either he or Mr. Sherman going to have a written reprimand in their personnel file come Friday. Mr. Evans decided I'm not doing either. Oh, really? It was a recommendation. I can't give directions. So he decided that, hey, I'm not doing it. I'm going to take it to the council, and the council going to have to decide. I said, wait. You want to, as he's been doing for years, divide and conquer. He wants us to start going at each other. So I did the research to find out if I had the authority to write a written reprimand. The research was done, none prohibited. Nothing prohibits any council person. And let me say this to any of my employees, don't you ever come to me when one of my colleagues felt disrespected and they wrote you up and you want to throw me in the middle of that mess. Don't ever do that to me. But this is what Mr. Sherman wants to do. He wants my colleagues to validate his disrespect. Only thing he had to do, put in his personnel file and write a rebuttal. No. I'm not doing anything. So here we sit. And I'm telling Mr. Sherman right now that if that, oh, I didn't pass it out. The written reprimand is in there. If that reprimand is not in your file, asking that the agenda, on the next agenda, his contract be on here, whether they support it or not. And I put a motion to terminate your contract. You're not going to disrespect me and allow your employees to disrespect me and think that I'm going to sit quietly and let that roll. He has never been held accountable. The memo is at the back that was written, and I'm going to read it into the record. From me to Jonathan Evans, July 2nd. This inter-office memorandum serves as a written reprimand for your failure to appropriately address the disrespectful and unprofessional conduct of Finance Director Randy Sherman. On June 12, 2025, I attempted to explain the situation to you. Randy Sherman very rudely began raising his voice to speak over me. As I was speaking to you, not Randy. I am one of the people responsible for overseeing your performance, Mr. Evans. Randy's behavior was totally disrespectful. Randy did that because he knew that there would be no consequences coming from you. Additionally, I shared several complaints with you that I received about Randy Sherman's disrespectful, unprofessional behavior. Then he disrespected me, one of your bosses, in front of you. You did little to nothing to address an obvious problem. That is unacceptable. I do not tolerate disrespect. As city manager, I expect you to uphold the high standards of professional conduct and to ensure that all city employees adhere to those same standards, especially in their interactions with elected officials and members of the public. Your inaction in this matter is concerning and does not reflect the level of accountability and leadership required in your position. It is imperative that incidents of disrespect or insubordination are addressed promptly and effectively to preserve the integrity of the city governance. Per Section 5B of the City Charter, I am notifying you that there is a problem. There is a culture of disrespect that currently exists in the city. Randy Sherman seems to be the center of most of it. This culture of disrespect must stop. Further, I am requesting that you place the reprimand in your personnel file. Lastly, let me say this. Mr. Sherman has been writing, and part of the problem, I think I've been asking too many questions. Mr. Evans have been writing severance packages, issuing people that he intended to fire. He's been issuing severance packages without bringing them to the city council. I've been in government for 30 years, 35 years. I said, Mr. Sherman, give me the language that you feel give you the authority to do severance packages without bringing them to us. One of them exceeded 25 grand, but the 25 grand is not even the issue. You don't have that type of, there's nowhere in the charter or codes that gives him that authority. He started trying to weave this together and weave that together. So I'm here because Mr. Sherman wanted us to be here because I guess he feels that he's got 3 or 4 votes and you all are going to validate his disrespect. But I want that memorandum of reprimand in your file by tomorrow. I'm done. I am suggesting, I'm not directing.
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
So let me speak very briefly with regards to the interaction. There was a situation whereby there was a meeting that was held and Councilperson Guyton was having a conversation with me and he was saying what Mr. Sherman communicated to him, and Mr. Sherman communicated, yeah, I said I would not, and Mr. Sherman was saying violate policy that was adopted by the board.
He didn't have to raise his voice. That's the point, the tone.
Mr.
Okay. But he's not telling you about the tone of his voice.
Madam Chair.
That was the issue.
Madam Chair, I then told Mr. Sherman to stop, and I had a conversation with Mr. Sherman that there's no situation that he should have got into the conversation with the councilperson. I gave him what was a verbal warning and a notation that I would put in his personnel file because there hadn't been no other disciplinary action. I will not write up an employee or discipline an employee because a council person tells me to discipline an employee, or an employee that says that they are not going to violate policy. In that interaction, the council person also said that if we went to the commission or the OIG, there would be consequences associated with that.
Prove that.
Madam Chair, if you want to bring in Mr. Sherman and Ms. Reynolds to have the conversation, I'm sure they'll be more than willing to corroborate the story as to what was stated. That is why there was no reprimand that was provided for. In addition to, I work for the board collectively. I take directions from the board collectively. Board members cannot individually write up staff. That is no city manager.
That is not true.
No city manager is ever reprimanded individually. The tool to talk about city managers' performances is provided for in the evaluation process that the city council gets to put their individual comments in the evaluation. Also, let me go into the severance agreements. The severance agreements that were drafted by a labor and employment attorney are within what the statutory limit is. It is 6 weeks, and we allow for people to utilize their sick and vacation time. It has been few circumstances that we have provided for. In the 6 years I've been here, I think it's a total of maybe 4 of severance agreements that we have provided. The intent behind providing those severance agreements is we're moving on in another direction. We are just going to go ahead and separate. They sign a waiver not to pursue any legal actions against the city. That happens in multiple municipalities. In addition to the city manager's authority over personnel, if we want to say it's over $25,000, the reality is that is not applicable when it comes to labor and employment. When I hire employees for $50,000 or $60,000 a year, when their payroll hits $25,000, I don't come and ask the board for an authorization. I have the ability within the adopted budget that you all approved to work within the position to be able to compensate persons accordingly. And what we do is if we pay somebody to go away as a result of a severance agreement, we leave the position vacant for whatever the 6 weeks is to not incur additional expenses to the city. So I did want to provide some clarity with regards to that. This board and every board I have ever worked with, I have been professional, I have been suspended, I have been ridiculed, I have been persecuted, I have seen situations where constant misinformation out there. One thing is I'm not disrespectful, I'm not flippant, and I'm a professional in my craft. And I treat everyone with respect. But what I will not do is I will not discipline any department director because a council person tells me to do that, or I would face the consequences associated with that. And that's what you're hearing this evening, Madam Chair. And that concludes my comments.
Okay, Madam Chair, just very quickly.
Okay, 1 minute now because we close to our 10:15 mark. We got 4 minutes.
Okay.
But you can't take all 4 now.
Okay, if you need something.
Go ahead.
Okay, let me just say this. Mr. Evans thinks that he can talk his way out of anything. I've experienced that, and others have experienced that. And what he's saying is not true. One, he did not get legal sufficiency, and ask him to do severance packages. Ask him who did the legal sufficiency. There is none. Who does that? The other thing, there's something else that I want to bring up before the 4 minutes. He runs it like a prison. He has salary and department heads clocking in like they're our employees and not clocking out. That's exposure to us, this council, we have to deal with. I've been a salary employee for over 30 years. We don't clock in. Well, to get respect from your employees, you have to treat them with respect, like they're professionals. You can't have them clocking in like they're in prison, and you think that's okay. He said, but it was like this when I came. If you have the experience and knowledge, you would see that that can impact the morale, and it does. So there's a lot going on, and he knows that I know, so he wants you all to validate his disrespect, but there's nothing, and I asked the attorney, that prohibits me from writing a a written reprimand.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Madam
So-
Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
Before you adjourn, I may need you to extend for a couple of minutes, because remember, I have to announce that closed executive session.
Go ahead. Announce it now.
Thank you. Pursuant to Florida Statute 286.0118D, Public Meetings and Records, and in a desire to obtain advice concerning appellate litigation, I am requesting a time that the City Council is available for a closed executive session in the matter of City of Riviera Beach petitioner versus Florida Department of Environmental Protection respondent. FDEP file number 50-0415270-005-EG, OGC case number 25-1188. Outside counsel, along with the city attorney, are seeking a closed-door session with counsel to discuss appellate litigation and strategy. We would like to have this closed executive session tomorrow, July 17th at 5:30 p.m. at the Riviera Beach Public Library, 2129 North Congress Avenue, Riviera Beach, Florida, 33404. Those persons in attendance will be City Attorney Dawn Nguyen and/or Assistant City Attorney Corey Smith, Defense Counsel Frederick Ashour Jr., Mayor Douglas Lawson, members of the City Council, City Manager Jonathan Evans, and a Florida court reporter authorized by the state of Florida. Just give me 1 second. The subject matter of the closed executive session will be restricted to appellate litigation and strategy in the matter referenced above.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Guyton, what is your ask here?
Well, I don't need anything from y'all. He wanted you all to override me from putting it in his personnel file. I'm telling him if it's not in there tomorrow, I want his contract.
I don't think that we have any say in that.
No, you don't.
Right.
But he thinks so.
Having to say a word.
Rather individual.
Madam Chair,
Okay, let me, is we going over, right?
it's 10:15 now.
All right, we're gonna have to stop this.
Madam Chair,
Madam Chair.
I do think we should extend at least for 5 minutes, just to, because
To extend for 5 minutes.
So moved.
Councilperson Davis Panier,
Yes.
Councilperson Guyton,
What do we vote on?
extend for 5 minutes.
extending for 5
Extension.
minutes.
Oh, extension, yes.
Because you took all the time.
Chair Pro Tem Miller Anderson.
Yes.
Okay. Chairperson Spiritus.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Councilperson Spiritus. Chairperson Lanier.
Yes.
That's a unanimous vote.
Okay, could you,
Okay, my
Madam
question.
Clerk, could you put that clock on?
Question.
I'm serious. I am serious.
I don't know how
She
to
can't do
change
it
it
to
from 3, but I can use my phone
Madam
to
Chair.
keep the time.
Got your phone?
Yes,
Okay,
I'll keep the time on the phone.
Let's time this.
All right, so
All right,
question,
first
Madam
is,
Chair.
Mill Anderson, go ahead.
Ms. Nguyen, so is he able to write him up and put it in his file on his own without the council?
I believe,
Based
I
on
believe,
what?
I believe so.
Based on what?
There's nothing that says that he can't. There's nothing that addresses that.
Okay. Okay. So a part of any type of discipline, I mean, outside of suspension or suspension or all of that, anything under that he can do. I mean, underneath, lower than that, he can do. Anybody can do.
Yes.
But we can't give any direction to have him write someone up. One individual person can't tell him to write someone up.
Correct. My understanding from what Mr. Guyton said was that it was a suggestion. I don't know that it was a mandate.
I made a suggestion for the charter.
And because he made a suggestion, he doesn't have to do it.
He doesn't.
But he's being written up for what? Not doing it?
For allowing his employee to disrespect me. Yes.
Okay, so that would mean that if it is in his file, then he has an opportunity to rebut it. Yeah. Okay, very good.
And what is that process?
I mean, it's just like a disciplinary action, right?
If someone goes to the file and they see the write-up and they see his response to the write-up. Mr. Evans gave a response, so he has a reason for his action and he can attach that to it. And so it gives both sides of the story at the time that it has been submitted. It's no different than writing a response to your evaluation if you disagree with it.
Right.
And with that being said, when is this evaluation from Mr. Evans? When is it?
That's right.
When is it?
Wait.
The time frame. This is Mr. Neal. Do you have the, time frame for us for Mr. Evans's?
I got it in the
Madam Chair?
Okay, you
May-
know, Mr.
Yes,
Evans?
yes, Madam Chair. It's
Yes,
May-
go ahead.
It's May 1st to June 1st.
To June 1st, and our evaluations are due, aren't they?
past due. But let me read this from the contract because it was something he was supposed to do. Wait, the city manager shall initiate the evaluation process. I haven't received anything that you initiated.
Madam Chair.
Okay, on such approved goals and objectives for applicable rating, blah, 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 blah. But
Yeah, we got the email, but we have your ask. You wrote your disciplinary action. He has a right to respond.
Yeah.
That's the end of that. All right, very good. Any other questions? This meeting is adjourned.